You are representing feminism very well. Women don't have a purpose, that has no obligations. Bringing in women into the workforce is more people into the workforce, lower wages. It just
and guess who got the lower wages? Can you answer that? Who got lower wages? Who got the short end of the stick?
No, the woman. It takes two for someone to have a child. To have a child.
No, it doesn't.
Is it? Oh my God! It does not take two to have a child, bro. Get me out of here. There is no way.
Pregnant. It does not take two to have a child.
If we federally banned abortions, right, what would America look like?
One, we wouldn't have to rely on immigration, right? So you say that, well, we just don't have...
Debate over. He won. Yeah.
Let's start with a quick introduction from Ceci. Why don't you just tell everybody where they can find you?
Yeah, my name's Ceci. I have my YouTube channel. It's the Putting You On podcast. It's youtube.com/@veryceci, CECI. My TikTok and Instagram is also very Ceci as well.
All right, cool.
So that's where you can find me.
All right, well, thank you for that. Cooley, I don't think you need an introduction. Let's move into the opening statements, shall we?
He has switched camera angles. He's getting serious.
4 minutes. Do we have a preference on who goes first?
It doesn't. It's up to you, Ceci. Would you like to go first or second?
I'll go first. That's fine. It doesn't matter to me.
Okay. All right. I'll give you
her mic. Oh my God.
Get the timer real quick. Sorry about that. All right. Whenever you're ready, I'll start the timer.
Okay, great. So the question that was posed is feminism good for society? And my answer is yes. And I say yes because yes, but feminism was birthed by the patriarchy and capitalism because every action has a reaction. And so feminism is just the necessary counterpart to a patriarchal capitalist society, right? So before the second wave of feminism, women were getting married, having kids, staying at home, but that's because we didn't have any other options, really. We weren't allowed to earn for ourselves. And so we did that to survive. And that's how men managed to keep us where they wanted us. And then the First and Second World War started and unfortunately took too many men out of the workforce. And so then men took women and put us in those jobs in factories. You know, you called upon us and we answered. And then after the wars comes aftermath, right? The economy, the Great Depression after the First World War. And so what happens there is people come back and realize some of us learned, oh, I like earning and producing and adding to the world, not just at home. Some people came back and realized, oh shit, we could have 2 incomes and live twice as nice. And some people realized we can't afford a 1-income household anymore. But feminism, what it's done for society is the basics, right? Like it gave us the right to vote. Okay, cool. Seems fair. We're citizens. They rep us too. Fine. But it allowed us to work and have access to income and pay. So we were able to fuel and add to the economy, along with, I feel like for men, a big pressure reliever because they didn't have to be the sole provider for a family. So maybe a little bit of a pressure reliever for them. Access to education. So now more doctors, lawyers, more people in professions to help fill the job workforce necessary, right? Like we did the first time around to keep America thriving as best it can. It allowed us to inherit land and own land. It allowed us protections from harassment, rape. And so for that, hopefully more rapists are being taken off the street, which is again good for all of society. It gave us our reproductive rights and access to birth control, which was again a good thing because in 73 when Roe was overturned, you fast forward 30 years, we see that violent crime rates dropped 60%, not because of just that, but in part to it because we had less people being born into unideal situations. So less people becoming products of their environment, so to speak.
Okay.
We could also then serve in government and on juries. And, you know, where you want to be judged by your peers, we're your peers, and we're the more empathetic peers. So you kind of want us on a jury. But basically, feminism just allowed women to become full members of a society that does need us. And so for people who think that there is no place for feminism in a society, I think 2 things. I think either you might hate women, and we should probably check your basement, or you maybe are a little misguided and you're just placing blame on feminism and women, when in reality, if you are upset with that, you should be blaming capitalism and the institutions and systems men created because it was birthed by the patriarchy. It's just the inevitable and necessary counterbalance to a patriarchal capitalist society. That's my case. Sticking to it.
All right.
That's my case, and I'm sticking to it.
Thank you for that.
Thanks, Ceci.
Cooley, go ahead. Actually, hold on. Sorry. Let me reset the timer. Pardon me.
What's the time do they have?
Timer is reset. Cooley, whenever you're ready, I'll start the timer.
Is feminism good for society? I'll be taking the non-affirmative position that feminism is bad for society. The original feminists who were part of the suffragettes movement in 1903, you can read their original writings in the book called Occult Feminism, where they explain that the nuclear family is oppressive and dangerous to women's liberation because it breeds a patriarchal system. Feminism wants equality.
Hold on. Actually, I didn't interrupt her, but like,
with men, but at the same time, they have to appeal. Feminism wants equality with men, but at the same time, they have to appeal to men for that equal system, which makes it contradictory. So feminism is a lie.
That doesn't. That talking point doesn't make sense. Just because you get to get approval doesn't mean your stance is like not important. Just because we got to appeal to something doesn't mean like it's not important. So, yeah. Again, yeah.
An illusion. Yeah. It can never be true. Feminism is for the movement towards egalitarianism, for men and women to be equal. We already know that men and women can never be equal from a biological standpoint. We even see.
Here we go.
How this plays out when they try to push forth certain agendas with making things more equal. How they do it is, well, women want to be in the police force.
What's the agenda?
Well, let's lower the physical standard. Women want to be in the military.
Is that even true? Has the physical standards been lowered because feminism, or women are now can be cops? Not that it would lower the bar to get in, but that they're able to be included in it. It's not that.
With making things more equal. How they do it is, well, women want to be in the police force. Oh, well, let's lower the physical standard.
Like for them or for everyone else? Okay.
Women want to be in the military. Well, let's lower the physical standard. When women,
I don't even know if that's true. They still go to the same trainings, right?
Want to be in certain things, we lower the standards to allow them in. Not all, but many when it comes to the physical attributes of them.
The physical.
So, in regards to how life was prior to feminism. So, in the white household, single mother households in the 1950s, it was only 1.7%. So, only 1.7% of white women were single mothers. Currently, right now, that rate has increased to 16.1%. This is
going to be easily debunkable by Ceci to say it takes two to tango, who is not solely on the feminists who are creating single mothers. It's also the men. I know she's gonna say that's the easiest thing. I don't even know why he would bring that up. It's the little point to say, oh, back then there was less single mothers. Yeah, obviously, because divorce. Okay, why is my thing not? I'm trying to type. Yeah, divorce wasn't like that popular, right? Like, and then it was being independent back then. Was less appealing. You needed marriage and a family to survive. Now you kind of don't.
Is the movement towards feminism, which gives women sexual liberation. They can take all of these contraceptives.
True.
This gives women the right to think that, they can prioritize their career and their job rather than a family. So
why should I get married? They prioritize the career? How dare they?
I could just go ahead and have this kid and divorce my man.
True. That's exactly what they're thinking. I don't think they've even passed. They don't ever pass level 1 thinking. And they're still stuck in 2020. They are. I know. Like he's still stuck in 2020.
Divorce. Well, you can divorce someone now, but you don't have to really give a reason. It's just, I divorced them based off of my feelings. In black households in the
wouldn't that be a good enough? The reason wouldn't be for a check. The reason would be like, oh, maybe it's not compatible. Like the two things can be true. You can divorce I can divorce my wife. I don't have a wife. But I can divorce somebody because technically I feel like it's not going to be a good battle to fight, or like maybe you can be persuaded to like not divorce because you want to, but that can happen. If you don't want to be with somebody, you can just not be with them. It's like, okay, well, grew out of love, whatever, let's divorce, that's fine. It's not like, hey, because of feminism I can divorce someone and get paid because just feminism I could just marry someone, not really care, and get divorced. It's not really what happens. Okay, it's not what happens.
1950s, only 20% of black babies were born to single mothers and only 9% living without their father. Now, in 2023, 47% of black mothers are single mothers.
Is that feminists' fault? But this has to be the easiest slam dunk victory, Ceci. If you don't actually win this debate, bro, I gotta burn the bridge, bro, because there's no way. This is easy layouts, bro. Like, come on now. Come on.
In the 1950s, there were illegal abortions. We don't really have the number on how many illegal abortions there were. But currently right now, when 1960s came around, abortions, they skyrocketed to over 1 million a year. And it stayed like that, over 1 million abortions per year since the 1960s. Currently, if you look at the abortion stats, it actually shows that with the indoctrination of feminism and, pro-abortion and sexual liberation and all of that stuff, it shows that we have a stat that it shows 28% of Gen Z was aborted.
weren't born. I knew it. I knew he would bring that up. They weren't born because of abortion. I mean, so what are the circumstances and what are the sample sizes? Like out of the pregnancies and abortions, you say like, okay, these people weren't going to be born, but okay, let's see what he says.
About that,
But
28% of Gen Z was aborted. That's crazy. That is crazy.
That's
So this
crazy.
all
I know. But what were the circumstances? Do you know why they're aborted? Aborted for fun, or were they just aborted because of complications, or what? Like you don't know that. He doesn't know that. He's just saying that because it sounds like, oh my, we could have had. You telling me I could have had a best friend, but he not here because he got aborted? Oh my God! Like that's not how it works. Okay, it's not how. It's not how.
Comes by the way of feminism. I'll go ahead and land my plane there. We can go ahead and hop into open back and forth.
Okay, that was interesting. All right. He is still stuck on level one thinking. He has never expanded his thinking. He just looks at one thing, a headline or statistic, and puts it on feminism, like the single mother thing. You think that's feminism's fault? Not really. Like, okay, but I'll be right back. Okay, I gotta pee. This is gonna be good. It's gonna be good. All right, go, Ceci. Get him. Unleash.
Sure. I guess I gotta.
Cooley
Yeah,
show.
I mean, you could always, if you have some questions, you could always ask questions. But I think we should get some of the,
Yeah, maybe we should agree on what
define
feminism
some
is.
terms. Yeah, let's define some terms. So, what's your definition of feminism?
Ooh, well, feminism to me is just it's just a movement like it's a human rights movement. It's a human rights movement to have equal rights. I don't think it's this crazy complicated thing, honestly. It's very similar to the civil rights movement. Just one was based on skin color and race, and the other's based on gender. It's just a human rights movement.
Okay, so equal rights for men and women. So this would be, would you include?
Now, when I say rights, though, I'm talking like, your basic human rights and basic access to opportunity. I'm not saying men and women are equal because no one's equal. We're all individuals. And I know there are men that are, not as strong as you or whatever, or not as smart as you. But so individually, we're not equal, but equal rights, just same access to the same things. You know?
Also, people have to understand, like, sure. Like, for someone people on both sides can say, it's wrong for you to say that men and women aren't the same. But it's also bad for you to say that there are differences or whatever, because there are differences. But what's keeping us together, that we're both human. We both have human rights. But yes, one's stronger than the other. One excels at other things, blah, blah, blah. That's true. There's differences in that. But in reality, we're still all the same. So again, how Cecily's going to say, it's just they want equality as just a human. We're going to have different interests, different skills, how we talk, how we carry, who do we like, how do we interact with people. That's all different, yes. That doesn't mean one's better or one's worse than the other. That's just the ground rules, okay?
Same access to the same thing. So equal opportunity. Is this equity as well, or just opportunity?
Well, I mean, it would be everything because we're both.
Okay, and is it for equal outcome?
I mean, you can't quantify equal outcome because equal outcome is not based on. I know it's going to give you that. It's like you have the same playing field, but like your outcome can be different. Doesn't mean like because one's a man or woman, like you get something worse. Just like, okay, starting at the same playing field, who's going to get what? Y'all can both get it, or y'all can both not get it, or one can get it, one cannot. This is how it is. Like,
what do you mean? Well, I mean that now. See what equal outcome is. That would depend on the individual, I would think.
Yeah, it's individual. It's not about yeah.
What I mean is,
I don't look at men as all blanketed like all men do this and all men are like that. Like I don't think that way. So I don't think that way about women either.
No, what I mean by equal outcome. So say if it's wages. You know what I mean? So say if it's something like same job,
yeah,
same pay, stuff like that.
Wages, yeah.
Is it for your definition, how you define feminism? I know you said equal rights for the genders. You want the genders to have equal rights, but is it for equal outcome as well? You want the genders to have the same outcome?
Given the same opportunity, I mean, genders have the same outcome. If they, I mean, okay, that can, because he may be kind of evil with that. But are we telling me like, oh, I should have the same outcome as someone else? No, it's just like give the same opportunity to have the outcome that they want.
Well, I mean, again, I hope the outcome is a positive one for anyone. I don't know why you would try anything and not want to have a good outcome.
Good outcome, but okay, but would you say that it's an equal outcome? Would you want it to be for the movement towards equal outcome?
I don't know why he's so fixated on that.
I just need to know that so I understand your worldview.
Well, if I think I think everyone should have equal rights and equal access to the same opportunities. But what people do with that is up to them, and the outcome is up to that individual.
Okay, so
yeah, if your outcome is good, Cooley, I hope mine is too. If we're doing the same thing.
Okay, well, you know what I mean on this? We can be doing the same thing.
Not on like because they're man and woman, because I want the same thing as you. I want equal outcome as I said that. But I'm not, okay? Like we all want these things, but it doesn't mean you have to have it because you're a man and woman. That's not what she's trying to get at. He's like, we should have equal outcome because you're a woman and because feminism. No. Like, yes, we would both want a good outcome, but like I don't want it because you have it. I want it because I want it.
And I can just be better
because you've had it and you dinkled it in my face and I want it now, okay?
At you and the thing that we do, so the outcomes would be different. So since...
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That would go individual based for me. That doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. Again, like that's just... You put two people in the ring, who's better? We'll see.
Okay, like, so then it's not for equal outcome then?
Well, it's never going to be equal.
Is he's trying to get a gotcha? So you don't want equal outcome. So... Is he trying to do that?
Outcome for everyone because none of us are all equal.
Okay.
Some people are smarter. Some people are stronger.
That makes sense. Okay, thank you. And then you take the affirmative position that feminism is good for society. Can you define what is good?
What is
and
good?
Also, you can ask me questions to define as well because I don't want to get in.
Okay,
this is to avoid semantics.
What do you think is good? Right. No. And I'm glad you want to avoid semantics because that shit can get annoying and in the way. But what do you think is good? Like what? Because I don't know how to answer what is good. Because for me, as a woman, I think it's just good.
No, like what is good in general? Like, I mean, the thing that causes the least amount of pain to somebody or yourself, or like what has the best outcome. But what is the best outcome? What brings people the most joy? Or what is joy? You know, we're gonna get into that. All right, we're gonna be Andrew Wilson. Like, what is good?
For any person, man or woman or other, whatever. I just want people to have equal rights, equal opportunity. What you do with that opportunity is up to you, though. You know, your capabilities are on you.
Okay, so I mean, what is good for me can be, totally different. Like my good can be different from your good. So this is why I think it's important to define what's good.
Because none of us are equal. And none of us are the same.
Well, not even that. None of us.
But that's why I'm saying but right. So the definition of good is always going to change. I feel like person to person because we don't all necessarily want the same thing.
Okay, I'll just go ahead and say it. I think that the LGBTQ movement isn't good. I think that it's bad. I think that women sexualizing themselves is bad. I think that single mothers, the movement towards more single mothers is bad for society.
Where is the movement of single? Did I just miss it? Okay. You think people just want to be single moms? I mean, like the thing is, you would think it's a movement if they're empowering, but like things happen. You need support. There is no formal movement to become a single mom. There is growing recognition and support for single mothers, with many organizations provide resources, community for them. The rise of single parenthood reflects changing in social trends, initiatives, and it's empowering. That doesn't mean there's a movement for single moms. Why do people think that? People think people just want to be single moms. I mean, you could maybe prefer if your partner was the best. You're like, okay, I like being a single mom, but like, I think everyone would probably prefer too. Just depends on if you have the right person. I don't know why people fixate on that so much.
If you want to dismantle the nuclear family, it's bad. So there's many things that I think is bad, and how I tie the things that I think that are bad. It comes.
So you should say, what is like what's an objective good then? Because I mean, what you think is good subjectively, like a music or something, or like a song or something, that's subjective. But so again, we'll see how he goes. But I think
this is pretty much asking like a moral question to you. My morals and ethics comes from Christian ethics, divine command. So I'm asking you, how do you define the good?
I think good is just basically doing what it is you want to do in life without negatively and purposely impacting others around you.
So the harm principle, do you know, like, are you,
because they body autonomy,
utilitarian? Do you go by the harm principle in regards to the good is as long as...
Explain the harm principle.
Okay, basically it's...
Oh, you mean...
Oh, like,
yeah, so basic...
God, what was that? I just watched it. I just literally looked at it, like the three things, like egalitarian, whatever. Like, yeah, it was. I forgot.
Basically, when you're looking at these things like utilitarianism, it's the doctrine that actions are right if they are useful or for the benefit of the majority. So this would
So do the ends justify the
Well,
means?
this would be how some people would define the good. So you said that do you define good that it's on an individual basis or no?
Yeah, like good is kind of on an individual, because like you just said, you think
both,
the
right?
LGBTQ is bad. I don't think it's bad. I mean, I just trying to come up with what's good is going to change.
So then it's relative to you.
Like,
then
you don't think
it's just relative.
I mean, good is relative, and I mean, just like most things are, though.
No,
Wouldn't you say?
most things aren't relative.
Like the term good, like what's good? I mean, you just said being like the LGBTQ is bad, but I don't think it's bad. I think it's good.
Yeah, so that means that we have two different moral standards. So, you know, when we actually get into the nuts and crannies of the...
So good is only what we deem morally acceptable to us. That's what we think good is. Okay. That should be the definition then. That's his definition. Good to him is what we personally deem as morally acceptable. So I mean there is no objective good then. And if they're going to define good, there's no objective good. It's always subjective.
The debate, you know, it's going to be me saying something is, you know, negative for society, but you're going to think that it's positive. I can give all of these stats to show that it's negative, but you're just going to be like, well, it's still positive to me. So I'm asking you, if you're if you go by,
it's not positive to me because I'm not gay or anything. So it's one of those things where it's like, if it doesn't affect me, why would I be mad at it? Why would I hate
how about
it?
this?
It hasn't done anything to me.
What grounds your beliefs? So what grounds your thinking, your beliefs, your morals? Where do you get
the thing
this
is because
from?
she won't say religion, so they'd be like, basically you're irrelevant if you're not basing it off of religion. That's what you're gonna. I think what he's gonna say.
And so I can get some understanding of your worldview and how you would define the good.
Well, I mean, quick background. I mean, my grandmother, I grew up going to church as a kid. She's a Christian pastor. I know a lot of people don't believe that women can do that, but she was one. That's what she was.
Yeah, that's your mother, but what about
my dad,
you?
Wait, hold on.
Right.
He's doing the whole spill. Come on.
Well,
wait,
I'm explaining to you, like, you just asked where do beliefs come from.
Yeah,
I'm
like,
explaining, like,
what's
I
your
did go to
worldview?
church as a kid. It did not, like, wasn't for me. But as far as, like, where I get my morals, I would just say from my own personal humanity and experiences. Like, I know I don't want to lie to someone. I know that's not a good thing to do.
Okay.
I'm not a hypocrite, right? So, like, what I wouldn't want someone else to do to me, I'm not going to do.
Okay,
to
so I
someone
would say that you're more like relativism. So that's the doctrine that knowledge, truth, and morality exist in relation to culture, society, historical context, and are not absolute. So, okay, I guess that makes sense. So you're relative then. All right. So
is that supposed to be like
any questions for me?
Is that supposed to be like a knock to her, or I mean,
It's
gotcha.
historical
You're
context, and are.
I'm not going to do.
Okay,
to
so I
someone
would say
else.
that you're more like relativism. So that's the doctrine that knowledge, truth, and morality exist in relation to culture, society, historical context, and are not absolute. So
relativism. A family of philosophical views which deny claims to be absolute objectivity within a particular domain. So, I mean, there's no absolute. But would she call herself a relative? Because I would think she would also have some objective truth, right? Or absolute objectivity, right? Relativists claim that standards of truth, rationality, and ethical right and wrong vary greatly between cultures and historical epochs, and there is no universal criteria for educating between them. I think there was she. I don't think she would call herself a relativist. I think she kind of let him define it for her. Because to be a true relativist, you would have to have no absolute objectivity, which I think she does. But the way she defined it was just like whatever feels good to you. If you like it, it's not hurting me. I don't want to impede on your free will or your bodily autonomy. Maybe they'll talk about bodily autonomy. I don't want to impede on that. So it's like you can still do what you want to do. So like I deem that as good because I'm not going to do what I don't want done to me to somebody else. So I just operate on that. Yeah.
okay, I guess that makes sense. So you're relative then. All right. So any questions
I
for
don't know if
me?
she
Any
believes
type
that.
of semantics you want to go ahead and get out the way?
Well, what is your? I mean, because I know my definition of what patriarchy is, but what's your definition? Just so that we get that out of the way in case. That
Yeah. So my definition of the patriarchy, it's the natural definition of patriarchy, which is the rule of the father. Yep, it's the rule of the father. So it's I would say that it's some people would define it as men in positions of power. I think that the positions of power, the ultimate power, is the people that can enforce rights in society. So those would be the people that's in position of power. So for an example, let's say if all women are at the helms of, government and legislation, I wouldn't personally define that as a patriarchy because women can't enforce their own rights. They have to appeal to men to enforce their rights for them. So I define,
because you think it's you think it's brawn over brains.
well, brawn over brains. Well, let me ask
I mean,
you.
to control power, because you're saying like,
Well, let me ask you a question. If you have all the brains, and me and you get into a disagreement, but I'm stronger than you, who's gonna live to survive to have the final say?
What? What was that example? Okay, let me speed this up. What did you try to prove with that? What did you try to prove with that?
you think it's brawn over brains.
Well, brawn over brains. Well, let me ask
I mean,
you.
to control power, because you're saying like,
Well, let me ask you a question. If you have all the brains, and me and you get into a disagreement, but I'm stronger than you, who's gonna live to survive to have the final say?
well, that's the question, right? In that moment, I'd probably be the one to die. But
So
I don't
then
know
I have the final
what
say.
you need my brain for, because later you might die because you don't have one.
Wait. So you're just saying decisions are made by that's force doctrine. It's only you don't doing it by force then, right? So he only thinks it's a patriarchy because men can exert the most force, because in any disagreement you can just overpower them, like women in this sense. And yeah, so basically you have the final say. Oh, okay, that's how he's gonna go.
So it's, one can't exist without the other, and I don't know why every time you talk about rules can only be enforced like through physical means is what you're talking about, right? Like only real
physical
power lies in the physical. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not saying that.
Which hold on, I wrote it down, right? I wrote down force doctrine, right? Yes. The idea to impose a set of beliefs to a group of people through force. And yes. Military doctrine or dogma through coercion rather than voluntary acceptance. Yes. So he thinks the same as Andrew Wilson. That's okay. Because like the way he's talking, it's like that. Okay. So basically he's saying it's a patriarchy because one can physically overpower the other. Okay, gotcha. Nice one.
That only real power lies within the physical. I'm not saying that.
The ultimate power lies in the physical.
I'm saying that I believe that rights is force. So in order for us to have like rights, I would say that rights is just it's just a construct in the mind. You know what I mean? It's just a mental construct.
Well, it's also on paper and legislation.
Yeah,
too,
but
though.
it's only, even if it's on paper,
right?
it's only if we agree to this right, it's still a construct within the mind.
Because people break the law. And
Exactly. So the only way rights exist is unless it's forced. So, well,
and how do you force that, though? You're talking through physical force is what you're talking about, right? Because if all women, like you just said, were at the helm of government and legislation was the power source of such rights, then we'd be empowered. But if you're talking about like they can't uphold things, though, because they physically cannot.
Well, I'm saying that the only way that the women can even have any rights is unless men enforce them. So the male...
Unless men force them? But wait, that isn't...
Power, but if
would he say the same as like in the civil rights? We had to appease the white people. I mean, does that make it bad? Oh, it's not a real movement, BLM or whatever, or civil rights, people voting, ending Jim Crow. We had to appeal to some people. So, I mean, that means the movement really isn't legit because you have to appease to the other party in power. So, yeah, we're going to just discredit you. Even though, yeah, it happened. Yeah, you got your rights. You know how to vote. Jim Crow's no longer a thing. Good job. But you had to appeal to who? So it didn't matter, okay? So who's still in power? Exactly. Not you. Like, is that how he's going to go? I don't want to use the race card, but like, damn. Like, if you're going to keep using, in order for it to work, you got to talk to men. Well, yes, obviously, because it's in a patriarchal system. You got to talk up to the top. You talk to the boss to get things changed, right? You don't just, to get things changed in a company or business, like you kind of have to go to the chain, to the ladder of command. And then, you figure it out that way.
If you're talking about like they can't uphold things though because they physically cannot.
Well, I'm saying that the only way that the women can even have any rights is unless men enforce them. So
why is it force? I don't understand why he's saying force.
The male sex is the only sex that can enforce rights.
What rights are they?
They're the only one who can enforce rights.
What rights are you guys enforcing? Like, how are you enforcing them that women can't do right now? Because like their men aren't brawling outside saloons and shit anymore. So what are you doing? What do you fight? I don't get it.
Have you ever heard about the situation that happened in Afghanistan? So, we were in Afghanistan. American troops was over there. The Taliban was at bay when American troops was over there. When American troops left Afghanistan, the Taliban took over. So when American troops was there,
a patriarchal society, by the way.
So you understand. So when America was there was men protecting women and giving them rights, meaning that women was going to school at certain times in Afghanistan. They was doing certain things. They had certain rights. When American troops left, let me just finish my statement. When American troops left, the Taliban took over.
Wait. But he's going to use Afghanistan for someone who has different laws and more beliefs as America? I wouldn't use that. Like, well, the men showed up in Afghanistan, everyone was safe, but then when they left, everything went bad for the women. Well, yeah, because they still live in Afghanistan. I don't know what you're trying to say.
Women didn't have any rights after the American troops left. So this is just
an example
to explain how rights equals force. Does that make sense to you? Let's stay on topic too, because you wanted me to define the patriarchy. Is that a definition that you agree with, or what?
I mean, patriarchy to me is just a system.
I just like that definition was just so bad. Just say a system where men rule, and yes, men do, but you should just say that. You don't have to say like, oh, because of force. Like just
that men hold power and largely exclude women from it. Just like a matriarchy would be the opposite. It would be where women have all power and we largely exclude men from that.
Okay, how do you define power?
It's good because two of them, they're too extreme.
How do you define power? Who the person who makes the most decisions and who's holding like position in the office and power? Like who do you see most? And like I guess like who's making the laws, I guess, right?
Well, we're talking about like societal systems and government. So we're talking about like all men being, president, congressmen, senators, cops, like anyone who has one, like you said, enforces laws, but also writes them into legislation.
Yeah. So if people writes them into legislation, real quick. So just so we make some sense, because I want you to define power. So people can just write someone into, power, into law. Okay, we have a president, we have a new Senate, we have, these people in government now. Well, how is that power, or does power lie with the people that actually enforces and protects the people in government?
Both, right?
And protects our borders and protects, our infrastructure and everything else. Where does the power really lie in society? What do you think?
Well, the power dynamic, there's a hierarchy of power.
Yeah.
There's the hierarchy of power. There's the president. There's a hierarchy. I think you keep going back to it. To me, it just keeps sounding like at the end of the day, the only way to enforce anything is through physical brute behavior is what it sounds like. And I'm just wondering, what do you think you're protecting women from?
Well, the thing is, it's not just physical brute, behavior. It's influence is another way as well. I'm trying to answer your question. So, it's many ways to, and the only way to enforce a rights equals force. So it has to be forced. This doesn't mean that you can't indoctrinate someone or influence someone to enforce it for you, but it still would need to then be enforced, no matter which method you use. So real quick, no matter which method you use to try to manipulate someone, at the end of the day, in order for you to have a right, it needs to be enforced. It needs to be backed by force.
Wait, enforce or force? That's two different things.
And men hold the monopoly on enforcement.
That's a patriarchy. Why do you bring up physical? That doesn't have to do with anything in decision making. So if we have a disagreement, we're talking, and it gets heated. Well, who's gonna come out alive? Well, okay, you. All right, because you can probably beat her up because you're physically stronger. But that's not what we're talking about. Who can win a fight?
Such thing as a matriarchy. The matriarchy is only a construct in the mind.
No shit, there's no such thing as a matriarchy.
Yeah, obviously, no one's debating that.
It would only be a construct in the minds of the people.
No, if it was, that's just how it would be. So that means patriarchy is the construct in the minds of the people. Because, technically it's just a word. Roles reverse is the same thing. You could just, what?
I mean, I don't think either one of them are good, though. Like, I'm not here like, oh, bring on the matriarchy. Like, that would be a disaster, too. I don't think one should exist, but they can't live without each other, just like men and women can't.
Okay, so...
That's my whole argument here. It's just a counterbalance. It's the necessary thing that had to happen because of the world wars. You guys took us out of the homes and put us in the factories. What if women at that time had said, wait a minute, I don't work. I just do house shit. What would have happened in the United States? What would have happened? No,
do you know the historical facts of feminism then? So then you would what you just said, you would lean to be more on my side because
I said that patriarchy created feminism.
No, I don't think that the patriarchy created feminism. You would have to demonstrate how it did, but in regards to what you just said that, well, do you think that, women, you said that men put us in the workforce. Do you think that women really wanted to be in the workforce? Do you know that feminism, with the suffragettes movement, they used to go around and try to get women to vote for it, and women always voted against it. So when it came down to the, many things like the 19th Amendment and stuff like that, women actually didn't vote for it. You know that, right?
Here's the thing.
Because even the suffragettes movement, even the suffragettes, the feminists back then, they knew that if women actually had the right to vote, they would vote against them having the right to vote. Because women back then didn't.
Well, truth is, a lot of people vote against themselves.
Well, no, it's not against themselves.
Well, hold on. What was they probably didn't even know a lot back then. So the suffragettes? Women involved in the early 20th century militant campaigns for women's right to vote. So those people,
you know that, right?
Said they didn't,
and women
vote.
Always voted against it. So when it came down to the, many things like the 19th Amendment and stuff like that, women actually didn't vote for it. You know that, right? Even the suffrage.
Is he saying women didn't vote for it? Yeah, because they couldn't. They were no. Is he mean literal vote? Because women. Anyway, let me just look this up, right? Which obviously not a lot of women, not everyone thinks the same. So it's like, for you to say, I bet some people probably wanted to be slaves. Like, come on, like you want to say that? Like, I don't know. You can, but this is a mindset thing of what they don't know. Like, you don't know your worth. Because obviously there's people who would disagree. Like, that doesn't discredit the whole movement, because some people probably disagreed of your own side. Yeah. It hurts in my mind. It keeps bringing up the fact that women got the right to vote. Most women actually want that. Is this true? Hold on.
A predator would probably want to take me.
Do you have a timestamp?
Because I'm smaller.
Hold on. Wait. Do they have a timestamp?
On to our first productive conversation with a locked and loaded Omari. Men equality support women's equality. All right. Your name is Omari. That's right. What's the other side? Sure. Your hate does not.
Actually, wait. Can let me get the transcript. We get the right to vote.
I know you mentioned women getting the right to vote. How did that happen?
My understanding is that there was women suffragists who went out and marched just like we're doing now, so that women could cast a ballot.
Right. And was that most women
that did that?
Yeah.
I don't think most women were out there, but I don't know.
Okay.
I wish I was. Do you know?
Well, I'm questioning because I understand, like you were saying, that men obviously were in positions of power when you first said.
Oh yeah. Look at that. Congress is.
Well, I'm going back to when they got the right to vote.
Okay.
So how does a woman cast a ballot to get the right to vote if she can't vote?
She has to agitate. She has to.
So who gave her the right to vote? I guess is my question.
Who gave her the right to vote?
Who switched the law so that women could vote?
Well, the men in power must have decided that they should do that. Yeah.
Good for them.
I don't know if I can pat them on the back. It should have been done.
Wait. I don't. Is that maybe I could just be dumb, but is that a bad thing that you have to kind of tell someone to change stuff for you if someone's in power? That's the only one that's always like a gotcha. I don't know. Maybe I'm out of the loop, but damn.
Should have been like,
well, someone do it. Don't deserve a pat on the back.
Well, someone did not have to say that women were inferior in the first place to not be able to vote. So that's those were the men that started it, and those men should have fixed it before it became a problem. Sure. So we just did as men what we should have done in the first place.
Right.
So I don't know if we get any special kudos for.
But the men who passed.
That's what I don't know if they get any special kudos for doing what.
I think so. I think when someone does
oh wait, he's saying like, oh, actually, the men should be pat on the back because they actually signed it, not the people who I guess wanted it. I guess.
Yeah. They praised for it.
I don't know about that because something right. You're righting a wrong.
Yeah, I think that people should be praised for doing that.
I'm not sure.
It sounds like you're trying to right wrongs today of social justice, no?
Yeah, I am, but I don't want to be patted on the back for doing what I should be doing. I want to lift up the people that are being oppressed.
Sure.
And when they step up, and I'm supporting them, they deserve the credit for the change that they forced us to make on their behalf. That's right. I agree. Not that it's bad that these men signed the right laws.
I think it's a good thing. For example,
I think
the fact that Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation should have been much longer before that.
Yeah.
But I think that's a good thing.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a good point. I
think
appreciate Lincoln for that.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, shouldn't have happened.
But again, even Lincoln, I don't say, oh, what a great man. If he didn't exist and he hadn't done that, I could still be in chains right now. So of course I appreciate it, but I don't want to.
If you were born in Africa, you'd still be in chains.
Damn.
I suppose, or Qatar, I don't know, anywhere.
Across the world.
This is true.
Yeah,
so,
terrible.
point being, don't raise up this man because he used his privilege for good above the folks that, that were one down and rose up.
Yeah.
Put them first. Let's put the attention where it belongs. And the people who have fought for their rights and gotten their rights and pushed the more progressive among the oppressors.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. What if, let's say Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation, right? Let's say Abraham Lincoln outlawed slavery, and let's say slaves themselves didn't want to be free. This is not the case. This is not right?
Where's this going?
Well, I'm saying like the women's suffrage movement. Okay. Wouldn't those people deserve to be praised if, for example, the overwhelming majority of women didn't want the right to vote? They were the ones advocating against it, not men. So wouldn't the men deserve the praise if they gave them the right to vote when women didn't want it? The majority of women didn't want the right to vote. They were against it. No.
Oh, wow.
Do you know
I
why?
did not know that. No,
yeah,
why?
the reason why was because they thought they would actually increase their work burden, decrease their quality of life, and a lot of people don't know this, but when you had to vote, it was actually a privilege in the sense that you had to either be a landowner or you were eligible for the draft.
But why would
Bucket Brigade?
why?
Bucket Brigade?
No.
That's where it's mandatory firefighting service, right?
So,
But that's like that's what you call it. That's extra things. If they thought that, oh, I had to own land, I had to do this, I had to be after the war, oh, I don't want to be war, so I'm not going to vote. That's not that they didn't want to vote. It's like the extra stuff that comes with it. That's probably what it was then. Not even that like they don't want to vote because they think that that's where they should be. It's more like, hey, like actually, because I think I don't want to go to war, I'm not going to vote. All right. Like maybe that was it. All right.
Women didn't want the right to vote, which is kind of interesting. A lot of people assume they did. Men wanted women.
Why do people fight so hard against these groups getting their rights to vote if it's such a burden?
Well, my point is they didn't. There wasn't a push to vote, and then when it came to a vote, most women didn't want it. It was the men who passed it. So would that change, assuming I'm not lying, would that change your opinion at all if men, even in the face of a majority of women not wanting the right to vote, said, you know what, it's the right thing to do, you should still have the right to vote? Do they deserve any praise?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so.
But I do think your point
is really good because I need to learn about history because I think that's very powerful that you're aware of these things and you can pull out these factoids. That
that's a factoid. That's pretty big. A factoid would be like, a black widow's venom is 15 times more potent than a rattlesnake. Right. The fact that the majority of women didn't want the right to vote is kind of, we've been lied to at large. Yeah. If I'm not lying now.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm definitely going to go look that up.
That's not even. Damn. Hold on.
Her place in Montgomery society was cemented by her ancestry. Her great-grandfathers were among the first to settle in the city. Her father was a judge, and she was the great-grandniece of famed South Carolinian John C. Calhoun. Pinkard viewed the 19th Amendment as a threat to her way of life. According to her, a federal
Exactly. Wait, yeah, because she's rich and white. Yeah, that's literally what it was. That's what it is.
Born into a prominent Montgomery family, Nina Pinkard was one of Alabama's foremost anti-suffragists. Her place in Montgomery society was cemented by her ancestry. Her great-grandfathers were among the first to settle in the city. Her father was a judge, and she was the great-grandniece of famed South Carolinian John C. Calhoun. Pinkard viewed the 19th Amendment as a threat to her way of life. According to her, a federal amendment would violate states' rights. Women's voting would upset gender dynamics as women became political equals to men. And the amendment would lead to racial unrest as African-American women received the vote. Therefore, in June of 1919, Nina Pinkard formed the Women's Anti-Ratification League of Alabama to block the amendment. As president of the organization, Pinkard worked tirelessly to prevent ratification, lobbying legislators, writing articles, and producing propaganda for the cause. Pinkard's efforts proved successful as the Alabama legislature rejected the amendment in September of 1919. She later reported on their success. We all looked upon our movement as a mighty reform, as if we were fighting off a moral threat. We worked night and day, personally and by letter. Alabama rejected it, and every man who voted for the measure is politically dead. With both Alabama and Georgia on the side of anti-ratification, Pinkard sought to create a solid South against the amendment. She transformed her state organization into a regional one, the Southern Women's League for the Rejection of the Susan B. Anthony Amendment. She made it her mission to ensure all Southern states would vote against the measure, traveling to these other states to argue on behalf of her position. Her final trip was to Nashville, Tennessee, where she set up a headquarters at the Hermitage Hotel. She opened an exhibition against ratification, in which she outlined what she perceived to be the true intentions of the National American Woman Suffrage Association to cause racial unrest in the South by giving African Americans the vote. This month-long trip was unsuccessful, however, as Tennessee became the 36th and final state necessary to ratify the amendment. On August 26, 1920, the Secretary of State adopted women's suffrage into the Constitution. Pinkard continued to speak out against several popular women's rights issues until her death in 1953. 8 months after her death, Alabama finally ratified the 19th Amendment.
Gotcha. Nice try. Didn't work. So, there's a little bit of context of the women who didn't want. It wasn't just like average women. It was the rich people. And they would rather everyone not vote because, let's say, if they gave y'all the right to vote, that means you gotta let every woman vote and we gotta let black people vote. Oh, no, we can't have that. So let's just not worry about this. It'll cause so much racial uproar and we're political equals. Like, let's just not. Okay. So with all that context, again, he was trying to be like, a lot of women didn't want it. He didn't know, which I didn't know how many it was, but like, I knew like some people weren't like for the movement, obviously, but yeah, I don't think that should discredit the move because some of the people who you're fighting for doesn't really want it, but they know it's a moral good. Like, okay. All right. I just wanted to get that because, I mean, I forgot why. Oh, because he was, damn, I forgot what he said. I forgot what he said about it, but let me go back.
And women always voted against it. So.
Okay, he was saying, yeah, they were trying to get women the right to vote. They voted against it. Yeah, okay.
But in regards to what you just said that, well, do you think that, women, you said that men put us in the workforce. Do you think that women really wanted to be in the workforce? You know that feminism with the suffragettes movement, they used to go around and try to get women to vote for it. And women always voted against it. So when it came down to the, to
context,
many things like the 19th Amendment and stuff like that, women actually didn't vote for it. You know that, right?
Here's the thing.
Because even the suffragettes movement, even the suffragettes, the feminists back then, they knew that if women actually had the right to vote, they would vote against them having the right to vote. Because women back
no. Not the feminists.
There's a lot of people vote against themselves.
Well, no, it's not against themselves because women back then, they just understood that the nuclear family is the backbone of society. They knew the order to life, God over man, man over woman, woman over children. No, I'm not saying that's all they knew. They also had a lot of benefits.
That literally is all they knew.
All of the debt. I'm sure that you're probably in debt, and you know many other women in debt. This is because of feminism.
True. So that's because feminism. That's why you're in debt.
Capitalism. Why would I take your position?
Okay, so
you're in debt because
you just said prior to me giving this little statement and the historical facts of it, you said that, well, women, it wasn't them that voted for this. It was men that pushed them in this. That's what you said. It was the patriarchy. You tried to blame it on the patriarchy.
No. It was like the patriarchy caused women to be like, hey, I want to do this too because I don't have a say in anything. That's what it was, okay? Yeah.
Because this is what I'm talking about. Feminism, though, is just that necessary and almost inevitable thing that would have happened because you had too many people out of the workforce. Literally, women had to go to work to make up for the men that went to war. I'm not making this up, you know what I mean? And we didn't start the First or Second World War, women. So I don't.
So you mean that women helped out? Women helped during the times.
And when that happened, women discover, oh shit, I can leave my house. You mean I can go hang out and talk to other adults?
Yeah, but that's just not true. Women weren't mandated to go into the workforce because we were in World War II. That's not true.
I mean, were they forced to? I don't think. Was it heavily encouraged? Yes, to manufacture and go to work while they were at war. Yes.
You discovered something you liked, and then we didn't let you ever do it again. Is that? I don't get how that's.
I couldn't hear you. Say that again. You were speaking at the same time. Say that again.
Go ahead. You go ahead.
I just didn't hear that last part. What did you say?
I'm saying that if we were in the house all day, right, and then suddenly you go out and you try something new and discover, I really like this thing, but then they don't allow you to ever do it again. You know what I mean? Some women probably did discover, I like working, I like earning, I like producing.
Some people probably did it. I hate it.
Okay, so how?
I just feel like it's a very human thing to want more purpose.
To want more purpose. So you don't think that women? Okay, and you don't think that women got a whole lot of purpose out of, the marriage rates was much higher prior to the feminist movement?
They always try to do this. No, I'm gonna let him speak. I can't. I got 2 hours to go.
Prior to that, we weren't allowed to earn for ourselves. So you better get married, honey, or you're gonna be homeless.
Yeah, that's not true. Women.
A lot of women could not earn for themselves. We couldn't inherit land or own land. No, you know that our
there were many women that owned land. Land was passed.
If you're rich, not the average woman, is he gonna? Again, he's getting rid of context, or like it's not in a vacuum. Like, oh, some women do this. Yes, true, but like. What is their situation?
Down to them from their family and their fathers and stuff like that.
He did
that's
say
just
that.
Not true.
You can agree
but that's not
before the feminist movement.
That's being lucky.
We didn't have
as much opportunity. Yeah, so the opportunity was less. Opportunity was definitely less back then. But this doesn't mean that with less opportunity comes more oppression. That doesn't mean that because at the end of the day, I think that the nuclear family is the backbone.
It depends on why you have less opportunity.
Yeah, well, let me just
inherently you're already oppressed with no opportunity.
Because you're black, that's oppressive. So it would depend on why.
Yeah, well, skin color and race and gender is two totally different things.
But I'm saying you're talking about.
I mean, we can go ahead if you want to go ahead and try to make that correlation like the last Jubilee debater did. He failed. I'll go ahead and let you try to make that race and gender correlation.
What did he do?
Well, he tried to make a race and gender correlation in regards to a similar debate, and it just didn't work.
Not having rights. Well, you're talking about people not having opportunity and saying that that doesn't necessarily mean they're being oppressed. But what I'm saying is. Why don't you have opportunity? If it is because you're a woman or because you're black solely based on these things that are out of your control, then that's just comparing apples to oranges. It's not apples to apples. So well, no, it is.
But you can do that. I'm not saying they're 1-to-1, but you can make that comparison. It's fine.
Men and women, the genders have a different capacity than one another. Me and you versus a man do not have the same capacity. The genders have the same capacity. You get what I'm saying? So if we have the same capacity as far as our race, then that's totally different than not having the same capacity of a biological capacity. So when you're trying to compare, let me just let my plane here. When you're trying to compare race and gender, it's like comparing apples to oranges because gender, male and female, the two sexes, they don't have the same capacity. The man can't give birth. The woman can. The man is physically stronger. The woman is physically weaker. But when it comes to race, the races share the same capacity. Males in the same race share the same physical capacity. You get what I'm saying? So,
but guess what? You had to convince people that it wasn't, oh, wait, is it because you look different than me? We're the same. What? Yeah. So people's mind had to be changed. Okay. So I don't know. You can definitely make the comparison without it being like a one-on-one.
Apples to oranges.
Well, I mean, okay, that's fine.
Okay, so real quick,
he's gonna pull the race card because you don't know, you can't compare. Like, bro, you can't even. Yeah, he's being a little. Okay.
And I think that all of this would tie into one another. You made the claim that feminism was birthed by the patriarchy. Can you explain that?
She already explained it.
Because of the First and Second World Wars that were started. Now, obviously, the first wave was with the suffragettes, but after that, what I'm saying is that it almost it was unnecessary because of the Great Depression and because of the wars and the men being taken out of the job force and into war. Well, we had to pick up the slack. You know what I mean? Like, that's just the reality. And with that comes other repercussions. And that's, women discovering I'm actually like good at something other than just like making a ham sandwich. You know what I mean? Like, women discovered they liked earning, they liked producing. But also, again, though, the majority of it, though, I think for a lot of people was they discovered we can either have two incomes now, so awesome, or we can't survive on one income anymore. I mean, a lot of these situations.
That doesn't explain how feminism was birthed
because
from the patriarchy.
Is he not listening?
Men, you guys take credit for everything, and then when it comes down to taking blame, you don't want to take any of that.
Okay, so you say that the patriarchy created wars.
So
I'm just trying to follow you here. The patriarchy created wars.
That patriarchy. Well, you guys want to say. I don't know how. Actually, I shouldn't say you because I don't know if you've said this, but the patriarchy. I mean, most people think that it created everything. It rules, right? The systems were based on the patriarchy. Men made the systems. Well, if you made everything, what other logical correlation can I make here other than, well, you put us into the factory, you put us into work, you called on us, we answered, and now I want to do more of this. You know, I just don't get the issue of women.
Okay, so you're kind of rambling right now. I'm trying to follow you.
Wait,
I'm trying to follow you. I just want to know, and you really didn't explain it. You really didn't give an answer into how, like exactly how.
Wars then took men out of jobs, which then men had to put women into those jobs.
Okay, and women could have went right back home. We know that women.
They could have, but guess what? They thought they could. They wanted to keep doing it. What do you mean?
Help, real quick. Women always. There's not any point in time where women did not help the man. They always have been the helpmate.
It's not about. Is he trying to say that prior to World War I and World War II, the Great Depression, that women did nothing? That's not what she's saying, but he's strawmanning it a little bit for like, oh, you're telling me like back then they didn't help? They always help. What do you mean? They had an important role. Yes, but guess what? They want to do a little more. Okay, then I think that's fine. I think that's okay.
So if the man is in a bind, the woman comes up and she helps the man. So at the time of war, there's men that's being drafted to war and fighting in wars. Women will see, okay, the man is in a bind right now. He's off busy doing things. Let me go ahead and help out the household. Let me go ahead and help out the community. This is natural. This has always.
But again, in case of the World War, where they're overseas, the country had to run. That's different than. I don't know. I think he's just being a little dishonest. He's too bought into his worldview.
Always been a natural process. The thing is, this did not birth feminism. This happened throughout history. Feminism didn't create. Feminism just started in 1903. It just came about. So why didn't it come about?
It just came about. What is he? So I guess civil rights just came about too. It just like Martin Luther King came about and made civil rights, and George Floyd started BLM too. Yeah, obviously.
1400s.
True, he's right.
I'm just guessing long.
We were at war in the 1400s.
But there's always been women's movements. There has been. I looked at some, but I'm not gonna look at it now because I got to get to this debate. But though it didn't just start there. But this is like the most push that they had, and the most steam they could do to get this thing like actually passed and like a lot of support. Yeah.
Like in the 1400s, those women helped out their men when they went to war, helped out their communities and their families, and they went right back inside the house.
About 1400s, 14th century. I'm talking about United States in the 30s and 40s.
I just gave you an example. You got it real quick, Ceci. That's totally fine. I just gave you an example. Totally fine.
I can't really argue because I don't know the economic situation of the 14th.
You don't have to argue it. It's to refute. It's to refute what you said. It's to say that what you just claimed doesn't make any sense. If it is true, think about it. If it is true, I'm going off of your argument. If it is true that the patriarchy birthed feminism, and your correlation, your reasoning for that is, well, patriarchy creates wars. So when men are at wars, women have to go out there in the workforce. Well, wars, we've been at war since the beginning of time, but feminism just came about in 1903. So why didn't feminism come about in, the 1700s or the 1400s?
Wait, I can't hear
Again, you want to sit here. I'm literally talking about the economic situation, but you can't explain the economic situation of that.
No, you're moving the goalpost. I need you to explain.
There was no, she explained it. What do you mean?
I mean, you don't like the definition. Had to take over.
Okay, let me say this again.
That wasn't our doing.
Got it. Let me say it again. Let me say it again, how it's not a good reason for how. I asked you a question. I want you to explain how the patriarchy. Let me just finish it, so we're not speaking past one another.
I just want to ask.
Actually, let me just finish. Ceci, say the patriarchy birthed feminism because over time. Oh my God, am I gonna die? Don't die, please. Like women naturally wanted to have a better role in society, and a factor to that is that when war started. They did more things. A lot of people were empowered and they were being like, oh, you can do it, blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, we can do it. We've done it. Let's do this all the time. I'll see you tomorrow. Like they don't want to just be reduced to just the household anymore. They can do both, but they want to do like, hey, I can do this too. And definitely they were more educated, so where it's like they were aware of more things, what they can do. They were a little more educated because a lot of them probably weren't educated back then. So it's like, oh, why don't they have feminism then? Well, because they weren't taught that, okay? Like it just wasn't, oh my God. It wasn't like, they weren't taught that, or like they didn't have enough education to even realize that, oh, things can be better, okay? It's not just this. So I think it's just, he's being a little dishonest and strawmanning.
Yeah, let's let Cooley finish the question before you do that.
Yeah, because you're having trouble answering my question and following the line of argument. So I'm asking you very simple. If this is your claim, not my claim, you say that the patriarchy birthed feminism. You say that the reason how this happened, how it took place was the patriarchy creates wars. So
I know he doesn't want to compare, but it's like, I guess like racism and everything and like racial oppression caused civil rights. I know you didn't want to use that, but it's like that isn't just because it just now is happening and like it didn't happen before doesn't discredit when it happened, or like that this can't be a cause of, like, just because wars have been happening all the time, patriarchy's been a thing since the beginning of time, or I don't know, that it should have happened before, because if it creates that, should have created that. Well, who knows the timing? I mean, that's just when it happened. I don't know what he wants to say. I don't know what he wants.
Off the wars, the women have to pick up the slack and they enter the workforce, right? Now, but that's your claim.
But this was World War. This was the highest scale. It's a world war. The world stopped. Everyone was fighting, okay? Well, it didn't stop, okay, because people were still working, or women were. So it's different, okay? It's a different precedent. It's a different time. It's unique in a sense to where it's like they had to full-fledged, they needed everyone on board for this. It's a world war, okay? Like he brings the 1400s. They went to war, they fought, and they held up the household, and then they went back to the kitchen. Like, okay, that's what they did, but this is just a little different, all right?
My refutation for that, to refute your claim, is, well, if that is true, why hasn't feminism started, in the 1600s, in the 1700s, in the 1400s? Why is that? Because men have always went to war, and women has always been the helpmate to the household and to the community, and went into the workforce at time of war. Why is feminism just starting now in the 1900s?
Maybe at those times we weren't losing men to a workforce that would then tank the economy of an entire country. Maybe just economically things were different then, and so women didn't need to be called upon.
Okay, you're saying that's not answering anything. You're saying maybe this, maybe that. You're like,
well, it's true because yes, actually, wait, that's a really good thing, because in this economic stance, people had to be in place in these big factories where you need people in there, which back then you just needed someone to like cater to a farm or something, or just raise the kids. Like, okay, all right, well, I'll just keep doing what I'm doing, because I mean, your work was what, doing politics, or I don't know, your work was like the physical whatever, but I'm still taking care of the house. So it's like I just stayed in my same role. I didn't go into a different role when you went to these wars in the 1400s. I had to go into a different role in the 1900s when World War I and II was going on, because it needed more attention to that. So that's why it's different.
Oh, none of it is
Get him, Ceci.
How long is a group of people supposed to just go ahead and take what they're given? Do you think women should stay at home or just do what we're told?
Do I think that women should stay at home or do what they're told? That's like the same question.
Is that though? Because
do women stay at home or
now we're done with you at work?
Oh, that's what you mean.
Yeah, like
got it. I see what you mean.
At home, or am I just supposed to do what I'm told? And I don't know how long you think a group of humans is just going to just take what they're given. I don't understand. Why would no one want to strive for more?
Okay, so with that argument, are you saying that women were doing what they were told since the beginning of time, and they always would, at the time of war, they would go ahead and do what they're told, enter the workforce, help men out. But then all of a sudden in 1903, they were like, you know what? We're not doing what we were told anymore. So are you saying that women out of 2,000 years, all of a sudden gained this courage to be like, to rebel and say, you know what? We're not going to do what we were told.
Probably they did gain courage, and they're not doing what they're not told. They did what they were told, but hey, I want to do that again. I want to do more. That's what it is.
Anymore.
No, I think times change though. Evolution, progress happens. More people are born. More men are on the earth. More women on the earth. I think that things just naturally progress.
This does not justify your claim that we have more people on the earth now than there was before. This does not justify your claim how the patriarchy birthed feminism. You still need to justify how the patriarchy birthed feminism.
He didn't like her answer.
Who gave us our right to vote?
The 19th Amendment was passed in 1920. And this was not, women didn't vote for this. This was a lot
of by men, right? Like you guys gave us our rights, the ones that you talked about.
All rights. All rights are enforced by men. So once again, let me go ahead and answer your question. So the 19th Amendment was it was a lot of indoctrination going on when it came to the suffragettes. They thought that the patriarchy was oppressive. They also thought that the nuclear family was oppressive as well because that it breeds the patriarchy. A lot of non-government organizations like the Rockefellers and many other non-government organizations funded certain social movements like feminism in the early 1900s, and this would kind of led way to the government giving women the right to vote. So it had a lot to do with it. It was women involved and it was men involved as well. When
Congratulations.
It came to the having legislated.
Men gave us our rights. That's
yes, men. Yeah.
Okay.
Men give all rights and enforce all rights. Well, I would say that men enforce all rights.
If they give all rights and enforce all rights, then I guess they gave us feminism, right?
Well, rights is force. Rights is force. So when you're speaking about
all the time.
Yeah. So since rights are force, rights itself, once again, is just a construct of the mind. So this construct of the mind, let's just say influence. This influence, women can influence as well. Women have the same ability to influence, and they did. The suffragettes movement did a lot of it, right? So that's what that is. But the enforcement of rights, that would be basically men, not women. So when you say that the patriarchy, when you say that the patriarchy birthed feminism, like
you guys are still upholding it and enforcing it for us, so you're the only ones who can.
So what's your definition of the patriarchy?
I already told you, it's a system or society and government that men have control and largely exclude women from that control.
Okay, so largely excludes women from that control.
Started to include us now, right?
Got it. So do you think that women have agency?
Yes, they have agency.
Well, yeah, I'm a human. I mean, you're talking about like what bodily autonomy and all that, or?
Well, like, do women have agency? Meaning, like, choice. They have things that they are responsible for. Since they are responsible for things, they have a degree of authority for the things that they are responsible for.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so if women are free agents, they have choice. They are agents of free will. Let's just say, right? Well, it's funny because you say that the patriarchy birthed feminism, but why was it so many women in the suffragettes movement? How did the patriarchy birth these women to, push forth this movement and to have the mindset to think that, well, it's all oppressive and the nuclear family is oppressive?
So weird for a woman or a person at some point to go, you know what? I want more than this. Why is that? How is that? I don't get it.
Okay, so you just answered your own question. Since women are free agents, they have their own, like you said, ability to make choices. You just said that, well, they want to have this free choice. So women themselves, along with non-government organizations and stuff that funded it, but it's women themselves that, they move towards feminism themselves. Had nothing to do with the patriarchy.
I know it. Oh, maybe they should just drop it, because for feminism to exist, there had to be a patriarchy. Not that they specifically, I don't, is he thinking like, oh, us as a patriarchal society, we're going to make feminism. We made it here on this day. We made feminism. No. The reason why things happen is because if there's a system in place for a long amount of time, something opposing to that to include everyone will bubble up and arise at some point. And this is that. Oh, it came out of nowhere. Okay, it came out of nowhere. Okay, what came in the 1900s? Okay, we'll say it came out magically out of nowhere. This is why it came. So she's saying the fact that it is a thing is because there was always oppression. We had to, again, he doesn't like race, but like we had to have civil rights in the movement and everything because there was oppression. Like, if it wasn't patriarchy or if it wasn't racism, everyone would just be equal. Like, I mean, that's just how it is. I don't know why he's not getting. He thinks like, oh, the patriarchy, we are going to make feminism today on this day. Thank you. Like, that's what he wants, the evidence that like people are like actually writing at feminism. No, that's not how it really works. But he wants to be so literal with it. That's not how it works.
Patriarchy has nothing to do with the patriarchy. It had to do with women and other women organizations and non-government organizations that birthed
because
feminism.
They could see what is a patriarchy. Like, wait, that's a patriarchy? Oh, they're excluding us? Oh, well, actually, I want rights too. Like, that's what it is.
The patriarchy.
Well, you're sitting here talking about rights and who enforces them, and
who enforces it. That's something totally different. We're talking about who birthed
are given to women by men and enforced by men. So you are giving me my rights to my feminism.
Okay, they're talking past each other. Yes, women made feminism, but they made it because they are trying to oppose patriarchy, or even not oppose, or like, again, it's more of the equal, the the advocacy of women's rights on the basis of the equality of the sexes, like equal. It's want to be equal. That's literally what it was. Okay, and the reason why the patriarchy birthed that is because there was no equality. So in that sense, yes, it did, but he's not thinking past level 1. But just because there was no say like, okay, we're going to make this, then it's not. What do you mean they birthed it? Like, no, you just do a little bit of thinking, and you can probably figure that out.
I don't.
Yeah, but the argument isn't about who enforced the rights that feminism wants. The argument is who birthed feminism. By birth, I'm sure you mean that the idea, this birth is, well, you get an idea
like
first.
Who led the movement kind of thing, like physically led the movement, then yeah, that's women. But I mean.
Yeah, something like they were talking about each other. If he thinks, damn, I knew it. He was playing a word game because she means literally not who made it, who was part of it. I mean, men and women were part of it, but like, of course, women were part of the movement more. But like, it's that way because of this. This happened because of this. That's what it is. This is the system, and this happened because of this system. That's literally what it is. Okay. I don't think it was that hard, but
I'm saying you said birth. So listen, real quick. Listen.
No, I'm just a little.
Okay, go ahead.
I still can't get like. I don't understand. Is it shocking for a person to suddenly realize like I want more than what they're giving me?
Yeah, you're proving my point.
How?
So you're proving my point. Influence creates thinking, and thinking creates behavior. So men are the
influence from your husband who's been beating you and treating you like complete shit, though, too. That influence, I'm sure, was there as well for some of them. Influence comes from different places, too.
It can be many factors. It can be women just woke up one morning and they don't want to be married. They want to rebel. Right. They're they have this evil spirit in them and they want to rebel from Christian norms and stuff like that. Which you said that your mother was a Christian, so these are things that you would understand to a degree. So these are women that wanted to rebel from the hierarchy of men and the patriarchal of men. The Bible is patriarchal. So I mean, you really haven't grounded your beliefs. But if we're just speaking about your mother, since you said your mother was
my grandmother
or your grandmother would agree with me.
I mean, but your belief system is just what though? That men should rule everything and women should stay and do what they're told?
No, my belief is that feminism is a lie. It is a construct in the mind.
It is a lie.
And also, when we legalize, when men enforce these constructs that's in the mind, it ends to negative results, like 1 million abortions per year, like women's, sexual liberation, women on OnlyFans, women on stripper poles, prostitution, and the list goes on.
No, okay, hold on. I did research on that too. That's not entirely true. But then, hold on. Actually, not all feminists were for pornography or I guess now OnlyFans. You can think about that. So you're going to say that's a bad thing. You're not going to mention that because there's a whole group of people who were against it. They were anti-pornography feminists. They would argue that it's all degrading to women and it enforces the sexual hierarchy that's supposed to be within a male and a female.
It leads to single mother households because women think that they can do battle by themselves. They don't need a husband.
Yes,
they don't need to
that's what feminism is. There you go. He's cracked the code.
And hold off on a family.
True.
Well, no, it's that women have to take accountability for their actions.
Definitely.
And do men have to take accountability for theirs? Because the man leads his
men
family.
live in accountability.
Why are we coming for the mother? And that's
the stats don't show that. The stats show that women initiate 70 to 80% of the divorces. It's not men that's leaving
the thing. I don't like that stat because what is the divorce? So they just wake up one day and not want a divorce, or were there something else going on? Initiate doesn't mean they're at fault. I can initiate a divorce if someone does something to me. Doesn't mean I'm like, I guess you can put that on me. We initiated it, so he's the bad thing. Well, like if I do something to my wife, and she initiated it, or it's like, oh, she initiated, so like now she's part of the statistic. Well, no, it's my fault that she did. So like, yeah, because men probably just don't want to initiate divorce. Like, yeah, because. Yeah, I don't know why, but this is how it is.
The family generally, the majority of times, it's women that's kicking the man out, that's leaving the family. So stats are not on your side.
Well, women are leaving the family.
Divorce rate, they're high. And as far as women initiating it more often, yeah, I'm sure that's true. I'm not going to disagree with that at all. That doesn't surprise me.
But there's other factors of why they're being initiated.
Have to stay in a marriage or with someone they don't want to, whether it be the man or woman who leaves. I don't think a man should be stuck in a relationship he doesn't want to be in. But I don't think that means you leave your children behind. I mean, people co-parent all the time.
Yeah.
Okay, real quick, and we could go ahead and. I do want to have the discussion when it comes to divorce, and you don't think that anyone should be stuck in a home. But in regards to your claim that the patriarchy birthed feminism, do you concede on that argument? Because if we're speaking about birth, we're speaking about the ideas. Influence creates thinking, thinking creates behavior. So who brought about these ideas?
He needs to just think outside of the box, just a little bit. Like he wants it to be a specific person. You just think a little bit outside of the box. It's fine, okay? I know it's hard. to go off to deviate from your dialogue tree and what you just been reading and everything, and the stats is just, oh, women like to be single mom, blah blah blah, OnlyFans. Like, okay, but just deviate a little bit from that and think about the outside world in context with how this is gonna work. Okay.
Ideas.
Patriarchy made feminism. They signed it into law. They gave us the right to vote. They gave us the right to Roe v. Wade. They gave us all our rights.
Okay,
So,
but do you concede on the argument that the patriarchy did not birth feminism?
No, I'm not conceding on that.
Okay, well then you would need to then justify how the patriarchy birthed feminism. No, you did not birth. You did not explain. You agreed with my points. You agreed that women. You said women. Yeah, they were the ones that had the initial idea. They thought, well, I don't need to. Why do I have to be stuck in a home?
No,
well, why can't I have bigger dreams? Why can I go out in the why can I not go out in the workforce? Look, real quick, this is what you said.
For women to leave the home and go to work.
Let me just.
Ceci, we should let Cooley land his plane. You can respond after.
So your argument when it came to the patriarchy birth feminism, you said, yeah, women are free agents. Women. That's why I asked you these questions. Women have agency, and on their own free will, they decided to have these thoughts. To say, well, listen, why do I have to just be in a home? Why do I have to follow a man?
Because you know why? They were opposing what? What were they opposing? What were they opposing? What were they opposing?
There's things that I can do out there other than a man, other than the home.
What were they opposing?
This is what you said.
Ask them that,
so if
Ceci.
you are, if you are, we're speaking about feminism. If you are conceding to the point.
Do you think feminists don't? Okay, feminism is not against men. It's not like fuck men. It's not what it's about. It's just we want to be up there too. I just want equal opportunity and equal rights, equal access. That's it.
If it's not against men, then why since feminism, why do women abort 1 million babies per year? Those are.
That's not. Oh my God!
Be, little boy children.
Some are great.
Oh my God!
Less than 1%.
Are you including spontaneous abortions like miscarriage? Are you including the late term emergencies when the woman's life is at stake? Break that number down first.
All those are less than 1%. I got the numbers and I got the stats. I can actually show you.
No, that's not true. But also you want to.
No, I can show you.
So why should we just? Yeah, you were raped or raped. Sorry about it. You got to have a kid. Oh, we can't feed that kid though because we just cut 186 billion from SNAP. So like, good luck feeding your kid. Oh, pediatric cancer research that's been cut too. So like, I hope the kid doesn't have cancer. And I mean, the list goes on with programs that we don't have in place, Cooley, right now.
So what you're trying to do is you're trying to justify abortion, and we do know that there are exceptions for abortion. Well, no, you're just giving the exception. Exceptions don't make the rule. You're speaking about you are speaking about the exceptions, like grape, and if the mother's life is in jeopardy. Real quick,
you are in a if you're in a terrible economic
I'm just trying
situation.
Yeah, chill out with the interruptions here.
Yeah. So, Ceci, what you're saying, you're just trying to make the exception a rule. I brought up abortion as to justify, well, that's one of the negative effects of the promotion and the movement of feminism. Because what they do is they go ahead to, oh, well, women, you're free. You got all of this choice and all of this opportunity. Go ahead and do what you want. What obligations do women even have in society? They have no obligations. Their only obligation is the things that they construct in
True.
their mind.
You're so right.
Oh, yeah, I wake up. I want to be a man today. I want to be a woman tomorrow. They
That's
have no
literally
obligations.
like no one. Who is he fighting? No one. What? He's on Twitter too much. Like with these like 2 follower accounts. Like they don't speak for everybody. What is he even basing this off of, bro?
Besides what they think, society doesn't hold women to any obligations at all. This is why they abort 1 million babies per year.
That's why.
You're trying to make an exception to the rule. I know that certain circumstances like grape and maybe incest or maybe the mother's life is in jeopardy, so the mother decides to save her own life and get rid of the baby. Those are all exceptions. Those are like 1% or less than 1% of the time when women abort their unborn children. You get what I'm saying? So real quick, you still haven't justified how the patriarchy birthed feminism. You just keep on like throwing things on the wall, but nothing.
You have to say it differently because he's not going to get it the way. You have to say it a little differently. He's not going to get it. He's not going to get it.
He's landing.
You keep saying that men give women their rights, and you guys are the only ones who can enforce it. Well, I mean, we have our rights now, and then you want to label it with that.
You said birth. Birth is the beginning. Birth is the beginning. Birth is the beginning.
Birth, dude. Then take away the word birth, like created.
Okay, then concede on that, and we can move forward. Do you concede?
I knew it'll be a wording thing. You should just change the way you said it or like defined it. I think she should have just done that because now he wants to win on that point. Like, yes. Oh God, yeah, because sure. In the birth word part, sure, I guess so, but like I wouldn't even give him that. I wouldn't give him that still. I don't care. I wouldn't give it to him because it'll make him feel better.
Concede on your argument.
For you. Okay, I'll concede the fact that it didn't birth it.
Thank you.
It created it. I'll give
True.
it
Get him.
That makes me feel
it created it.
That's all you needed.
It did. Yes. It created it.
Because guess what? You would have to prove how it created it because I don't think it created it either.
Oh, you're so
talking about how
dumb.
men give us rights.
You're so dumb.
Everything in the world. You keep saying men enforce this, men, gave you your rights. Well, then
She needs
all
to
of
just
this is
say something else, bro. He's not going to get that definition or that example.
I mean, I don't get that. How are you going to say that they created our rights? They're the ones who enforce our rights, but yet somehow I created this?
You can truly only influence yourself. And if you want to go ahead and try to say that you can't, then Then
Yeah,
go ahead and try to justify
You
it.
can only influence
but other things
yourself?
can also influence you too.
Not if you don't allow it. Because
I mean,
we say that we
sure,
are,
but I
we
mean,
are agents of
what?
free
Okay.
will. We have our own choice.
Okay, so then those women who decided they wanted to follow feminism, they just influenced themselves.
Which
Right?
then,
That's what you're saying? No
yes,
other-
you would
no
have to
outside
concede.
influence at all.
You would
There's
have
no
to
other
concede that
outside
the
influence.
patriarchy
Well, that's my
did not.
question. There's no
No,
outside
no,
influence at all.
don't
It wouldn't
let him
be,
walk
the
into
fact
this.
that
Don't
they're
let him.
sitting at
Don't
home,
let
or the
him.
fact that, I could have two
Okay.
incomes in the house. Like, there's other influences, economic influence. Different.
Got it.
No,
so
no,
you,
no,
you
no,
believe
no,
that
no.
we are okay. I'll walk you through the argument again.
I guess I look at people too much as
No.
individuals and not this men versus women
Yeah,
too much.
I'm going into your worldview. I'm doing an internal critique. You believe that women
He watches
are
Andrew
free
Wilson,
agents.
bro.
They
I
have their
know. No, hold on. Are they in like the same orbit, bro? This is literally Andrew Wilson, bro. Okay. Anyway.
own. They have their own free choice,
Yes, they're
own
humans,
responsibility, own authority. That's what you believe, right?
As men do.
Okay, great. You believe this. So if that's the case, then anything that comes and tries to penetrate them and tries to influence them, it's up to that individual to be influenced by it, or to
Okay.
not allow it, not to allow themselves to be influenced by
Okay.
it. I'll make an example for myself. Statistically speaking, I was supposed to probably be a part of the statistic of being born in the hood, raised on Section 8, in the projects. I was supposed to be a gang member. I was supposed to smoke and drink and do X, Y, Z. I'm not
Were you supposed to be? Were you supposed to be?
part of the statistic because I wasn't influenced. Did I have people try to influence me? Yes, I did. My mental fortitude and my own free agent, me being a free agent, I went against it. I pushed against it. So I was not influenced by it.
Hey, congratulations.
Right? So what I'm saying is it's all choice. People choose to do these things
correct.
because they choose to do it. Women chose to leave the household and enter the workforce, not because of the patriarchy, because of their own free choice.
Wait, don't die. No, wait. I thought I paused it. Okay, wait. I don't want to ruin my. Wait, it didn't pause. I think I pressed the wrong thing. But wait, okay, so wait, did he say they didn't go to the workforce or what? What did he say?
That is not my mental fortitude and my own free agent, me being a free agent, I went against it. I pushed against it. So I was not influenced by it. Right?
Oh my
so what I'm
God.
saying is all choice. People choose to do these things
correct.
because they choose to do it. Women chose to leave the household and enter the workforce, not because of the patriarchy, because of their own free choice. That's what they wanted to do
Not the
because
original
they are free agents.
Not
Yes,
the
that is.
True.
No,
Yeah,
and not
he's
the
right.
original
Ones.
who were put there and then discovered, hey, I kind of like this. I just don't get what
He
the
doesn't
problem
even-
is. Like,
did you even know
women can
history?
do both, or I mean, I get like that we've stepped back and I've, divorce rates are higher and this and that, but I just don't understand why I feel like you feel women should just do what they're told, get married, have babies, and be done with it.
No, I'm saying that. What do you mean?
I'm
women.
asking,
I'm saying
I
that
don't
women do
have a
not
problem
do
with
what they're
women
told.
taking the
This is why
influence.
we have. No,
Don't
you're not
get me wrong.
understanding
Why
my
we have
argument.
feminism.
Okay, Ceci,
No,
you're not understanding my
no.
argument.
Okay,
My
I
argument is
understand.
women
Wait.
do not do what they're told. Women do not do what they're told. This is why we have feminism.
True, he's
Women
so
don't do what they're
right.
told.
Yeah,
Women do what they want to do right now. This is why they abort 1 million babies per year. This is
That's
why
not-
they divorce. The divorce rate is 70 to 80% of divorcing their
True,
husbands
yeah.
because women.
Because feminism.
Is that what you just said? We have feminism because women weren't doing what they were told to do.
I just told
I'm
you.
supposed to do what I'm told to do. That's the big thing, though. Like,
Wait.
the influence thing, how you said, okay, well, influence comes from an individual. You didn't go the route that most people thought you would have gone because you didn't allow bad influence in. Do you think a woman who decided that feminism was for her because she wants to work and have kids, that's a bad influence? Like, do you think
Okay.
feminism is a bad influence? period?
Got it. Go. Okay. So, if it's the case that with women entering the workforce, it leads to higher divorce rates. It leads to women prioritizing their career over a family. So
How
it leads
dare
to
they?
our population
dare
is
they,
at
right?
1.6 babies per women. Is supposed to be at 2.1. So we are below.
Do you does that even matter? Do you really just want more people? Does that actually matter? Do you care about the birth rates? Do you really care? No, you don't. You don't.
levels when it comes to our population in America. So
Does it
there's so
matter to
many
you?
different negative side effects when with women's liberation and them having this choice. Do you think that that's a good thing that for some reason women just choose to do the things that it brings all of these negative effects? But this is the thing. You actually don't believe that these things are negative or bad. Our definitions of good and bad is totally different. This is why I wanted to get down to your epistemology. Like, where do you ground your knowledge and your truth claims and your morality? Where do you ground this? How do you ground it? If it's all just relative and nothing is absolute, then you would have to appeal to forced doctrine anyway. Because think about it: if your worldview is relative, let's just go ahead and I'll go ahead and concede and say, well, but guess what? I can't prove God. Mine's relative as well. If everything is just relative, then it's going to have to come down to force anyway. It's going to have to come down to force, which then just proves that feminism is a lie because women can't enforce their own rights. How it's contradictory. How can women say that I want to be equal and have equal rights, but they can't even enforce their own right? Men have to enforce it for them, so they can never truly be equal. They can never truly be equal. Is my point.
It's alive. It's real because men are still enforcing it. So how is it a lie? Someone's enforcing something. No, women might not be the ones enforcing it, but men
How
are.
is that?
So it's
How is
not
that
a lie.
make it a lie?
The fact that I can vote is not a lie. The fact that I can go have a job and start
That's
a
not my
family if I
claim.
want, that's not a lie. Yeah, but I
Oh,
don't
that's
care
not
what
my
you're-
claim.
That's a straw man
Yeah.
of my argument.
Yeah, I
You're
don't
strawmanning
understand
her
your
entire
argument then.
position.
Okay, I'll say it again. I'll go ahead and repeat it again. So the argument is simple, very, very simple. So when we're speaking about rights, and rights equals force. That's it. Rights equals force. Rights is just a construct in the mind. I think of something, but it doesn't matter what I think of. If I don't have the ability to enforce it myself or a group of people to enforce it for me, then in which this group of people would have to be men,
Right,
collectively men, then to enforce this construct that I have in my mind, then it isn't true. So when I say that feminism isn't true, because feminism is the movement towards, you even said in your definition of feminism, I wrote it down, you said equal rights for gender. That's what you said, equal rights for the gender. But why is it that it's only one gender that enforces the rights? How is it?
Because guess what? He needs to just say it. I can't say it enough. Because guess what? It's a patriarchy. One person makes the rules. What?
Equal if one gender. Why can't women enforce men's rights? It can't be equal. The only way it would be equal if women could enforce men's rights. That would mean that it's equal.
I mean,
what year is it? You talk like we're still living in a time period where you guys.
You didn't get what I just said?
No, I do, but you're sitting here talking about who can enforce laws. Well, the government enforces laws. The police enforce laws, right? And you're going to get into but who's stronger and tougher? Like,
yeah, who can win a fight? That's the thing.
Even in the cops, right? Because sometimes men will escalate a situation that sometimes doesn't need to be, or maybe a woman presence would be helpful at that time.
Yeah, I have another way we could, maybe you can understand where I'm coming from. You would have to make some concessions, though. Like if you can just we can have a genuine conversation. If you don't agree with it, then you don't have to make the concession. But if you can't see any other way, if you want to be genuine here and have a genuine discussion, it's okay to make the concession, right? So you concede that rights equals force, and since men have the monopoly on rights, when it comes to enforcing rights, that means that feminism cannot be true because your definition of feminism is equal rights. If only one sex can enforce the right and make this construct in their mind come to reality in the physical world, but the other sex can't, it means that it isn't equal in its own definition. Like it's contradictory.
But I disagree.
When you say that rights equals, you said, what did you say? Rights equals power? Is that what you said? Or?
Rights equals force.
Rights equals
That's what you said. Force. I don't understand that statement. Rights equals force. I don't understand that.
Like the only way to have rights in this world is if who has the greatest force, and the person who has the greatest force creates the power and the rules and everything and the structure. That's what he means. And I understand what he's saying. I understand 100%. But I disagree, and I hope she gets to it and disagrees as well. I hope he doesn't walk her into that.
If feminism is for the movement towards equal rights, it means that it can never be equal because women can't enforce their own rights. So which means that feminism itself is a lie. Would you concede to that?
No, I don't think it's a lie, but I'll concede to the fact that it couldn't have happened without men, for sure.
Okay, so
for sure, thanks, guys.
Okay, so you're saying that
men actually look at us and think, yeah, I don't mind if she, lives her life.
Okay, so you're saying that feminism couldn't happen without men.
True.
But
yeah.
in regards to, okay, so real quick, in regards to feminism and your definition of feminism, it is, I wrote it down, equal rights for the genders, equal rights between the genders.
Right, I said it was a human rights movement.
Human rights movement, right? But only one of the sexes, one of the genders, can enforce the rights for both.
On this.
If the other gender can, but you're still not conceding on this point. If the other gender cannot enforce rights for themselves or enforce rights for men, but men can enforce rights for women and men can enforce rights for themselves, the definition of feminism being equal human rights for the genders would be a lie. Can you concede so we can move forward?
You want to go on that little thing? Okay, fine,
sure. That's how much you finally got it.
All right, that's the end of the debate.
Yeah, I don't.
No, that's not the end of the debate.
I don't
know. No.
I don't agree. I just listen. I understand what you're saying by rights through the force and only men can enforce that. I get what you're saying, but do you get what I'm saying when I say yes? You all enforce my rights. So thank you to those men who are feminists or not. You don't have to call them that, whatever. But who look at me like an equal, or at least a human, should be able to have what she wants.
So then you would also, if you're saying thank you, you would have to concede that, it's patriarchal.
What we call it. I don't care what we call it. I don't care who started it. Those things don't bother me. Well, I just want women to be able to have the same access and same opportunity and rights as men.
So this would be
held against you coolly because you're black. Just like it shouldn't be held against me because I'm a woman.
Use the race card.
Control those things.
Don't do it.
That's too different. You keep on tying the race, but race does not.
He gets so mad if you bring up race, bro. He's so sensitive. Nice.
Like comparing apples and oranges, it does not correlate.
What makes this conversation? Because I'm a woman, so that's why. That's the whole argument, though, is about women.
That's gender is different than race. That's apples and oranges.
Yes, it is different, but you can.
Just if it's based on, I'm just saying the fact that we don't get to pick these things for ourselves.
Well, how is it?
And then they're held against you anyway. That is oppression, and that's not fair.
How is it oppressive and how is it oppression if men are the ones since the beginning? You conceded to a lot of these arguments. This would mean that men, since the beginning of the time, always gave women rights and took women's rights away. They were the enforcers of rights, right? And
I mean, they didn't give it to them in the first place. Like, I don't know.
this would tell you if the patriarchy is the only section of the population that can enforce rights, then you would say that if the patriarchy if the patriarchy enforced feminism, this would mean that the patriarchy is benevolent, right?
No, the patriarchy, feminism, honest to God, I think feminism came about.
Is the patriarchy not benevolent? Can you answer the question?
As a necessary.
Wait.
As a necessary.
If the patriarchy enforced the women's rights, okay, if the patriarchy, and you said thank you, I agree.
Yeah,
For
nice.
you, if that's what you want, you can go ahead and thank the patriarchy for it. All right, so then you would have to concede and say that the patriarchy is benevolent.
I mean, you have to like that. This is what Candace Owens did. She like brought up, oh, the CIA is the one who funded.
I gotta go to the bathroom. Oh, okay. Let me go back a little bit.
Forced the women's rights, okay, if the patriarchy,
as a necessary.
if the patriarchy enforced the women's rights, okay, if the patriarchy, and you said thank you, I agree. For you, if that's what you want, you can go ahead and thank the patriarchy for it. All right, so then you would have to concede and say that the patriarchy is benevolent.
I mean, you have to like that. This is what Candace Owens did. She like brought up, oh, the CIA is the one who funded feminism. I don't care. I don't care.
I'm not making that argument.
You know what I mean, though. But as far as
Yeah, I didn't make that argument. You said multiple times during this debate that the patriarchy is actually oppressive. You said that the patriarchy is the one that birthed feminism because it's oppressive, which means that, but you're appealing to the patriarchy for the rights, which means that the patriarchy is benevolent as well?
You decided to go rights equals force, and so we have to appeal to you to get those rights.
Correct.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so with that being said,
one can't exist without the other.
okay,
That's my
all right,
point.
so now we're getting somewhere. Okay,
No, one
so with
can't
that being
exist
said,
without the
all right, so now I got a question for you. With that being said, and you conceded to many points, the patriarchy enforces rights, or the patriarchy enforces the rights that
We're gonna go
feminism.
based off of what you're
Okay,
saying,
let me just
force is the ultimate power.
Okay, let me just, finish my train of thought here. You conceded and you said that the patriarchy is the ones that enforce the rights. The patriarchy, gave feminism many of their rights. These ideas that they constructed in their mind was enforced by the patriarchy. Men in position of power and stuff like that. This is what you conceded to. So if women have all of, real quick. My question is very simple.
Yeah, he's just
Women are
monologuing.
getting all of these opportunities that's enforced by men. What obligations do women have? The only thing that I see women doing, they're aborting their children, they're leaving their husband, they're prioritizing work over family.
True. There we go. Now we're back
we have
to
to bring all of these immigrants in so we can just sustain our current population level. Women are making all of these poor choices and stuff like that.
There
so
we go.
they're not. I don't see any obligations to women when it comes to feminism.
What
So
are
if
the
you are
obligations?
for feminism,
What do they
which
do?
is the patriarchy is enforcing these rights of feminism,
They don't do
women? My
anything.
question for you: are women obligated to anything in society? What are women's obligations in society?
We have the same obligations
Is
as
he
any other
dumb?
human here. If you got
Name some.
rent to pay,
Name
you gotta go to
some.
work. What do you mean name some?
Name
Anything a man
some.
does that-
I
anything
said
any person
obligations
does.
to society.
But obligations to society isn't what? Like I have to, if I need to work, I'm gonna work, right? That's
Individual. You don't have to
Then
work if you have a man.
society,
What do you mean?
what do you
You don't
mean?
have
I don't have to work if I'm
you have
rich.
a
What do you
man and
mean?
that man is working.
What is a man's obligation to society?
Why are you asking me a question instead of
Because I-
answering my question?
Because I don't know how to answer that question because I want to know what obligations you're talking about. And if you're going to say women don't have obligations, what obligations
Okay.
do men have? I think it's a fair
You can go ahead and Google the word obligation and then give me some
No.
Why don't
obligations
you-
that women have in
No, no, no.
society.
Because I
That's
just was
not
trying
the
to, but maybe
same
we don't.
thing.
Maybe I am.
You
using the
didn't
wrong
try.
definition.
You
Why
didn't
don't
try.
you explain what a man's obligation in society is?
True.
Why are you
Well,
instead of
I'm looking
answering
at-
my question, why are
No,
you
no, no,
asking
no,
me
no,
a question?
but-
How about you
Didn't
answer my
she
question?
just say
that I
it?
can't answer your question because the semantics here. I want to know what
Okay.
obligations. List some,
Fair.
and I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah, women need to do that.
I guess
shit
I'll help
too.
you out.
Yeah,
How
do
about
that.
this? It's very simple. How about you Google the definition of obligations
Don't do
and
it.
then
Don't.
give me and I'll
Don't.
Don't
read the
Google
Google
it.
definition out.
So you Google it. You tell me what you mean. Why don't you
No,
answer my question?
I know what obligations mean. I don't need to Google it.
I don't need to
What
Google it
obligations does
either.
a man have in society? If it's to protect and provide, is that what
Okay,
you're going
once
with? Or
again,
gonna tell me
you
it's
are-
limited to reproduce?
Protect,
Is that what you're saying?
provide, lead. Yeah, nice.
No,
one.
Once
I'm
again,
asking- I'm
you
asking
are
a
not
question, and you're not
answering
it.
my
I can't-
question.
Because I need you to answer mine. I don't understand. What's wrong with me going,
Okay.
I don't know what you mean by that. Can you explain what
True,
obligations
yeah.
do men have?
I'm
That's
literally saying whatever you think the word obligation, I'll grant it to you. Whatever you even think the word
No,
obligation means.
she's just asking like, hey, okay, say if she didn't even know what it meant. Okay, what's an obligation? Tell me what an obligation for men. Say that. If someone really didn't know, you're going to say that, oh, answer my question. Well, I don't know how to answer, but she's trying to be in good faith and say, okay, lay it out, lay the groundwork on what an obligation is in this sense, like for men. It's like, okay, well, our obligation is this. It's not going to be the same. Maybe be some overlap, but like it's a little different because she knows the obligation of women in society have. She knows it. She's not dumb, but she's not going to say it because she's maybe gotten a gotcha. So she's trying to lay out the framework of, okay, what are you talking about? That's literally what it is.
you can just give me some of women's obligations. Or you can Google the word obligation to see what it means, and then
Google
give me some of
yeah.
women's obligations in society, not on an individual level.
We're talking about, that's what I'm saying, is what is any human's obligation to a society other than to follow the laws and, I don't know, don't purposely hurt people? I mean, what obligation are you talking about? That's what I'm saying. What obligation does anyone have to anyone other than please don't be a POS and please follow our laws? So what obligation?
So then you think that the only obligation we have is to follow the law?
No, I don't know, because I'm trying to get you to tell me what the obligations you're thinking of are so that we can further discuss.
Why do I have to tell you what I think obligations are when you
No,
are you're a feminist? You are
not obligations, like men's obligation, not just what is an obligation.
Women of free choice and free thinking. And
okay, then what are my obligations to society? Follow the laws and don't be a POS. Those are my obligations, because I'm not obligated to anyone to do anything unless you're my boss.
All right.
Or if you're my husband, we might have obligations to each other.
Okay.
But what obligations do men have?
All right, so let me ask you a question then. Let me ask you a question.
She just answered it.
Women's obligation is to follow the laws, and don't be a POS. Well, if men, since men are the enforcement of laws.
Oh, wait. Is he going to say, actually, what's he going to say? What's he going to say?
Right? Would you follow these laws then? If hypothetically the laws was changed and abortion worldwide was illegal,
Oh my God. He he's debating in bad faith just a little bit, just a tiny bit. Come on, sissy. Come on, get him.
Being LGBTQ plus was illegal. You couldn't get married anymore. Meaning you can do whatever you want at your home, but you couldn't be married anymore, and you couldn't be dressing up in weird clothing and a drag queen and walking down the streets and stuff, indoctrinating our kids. Let me finish the point.
Indoctrinating, he loves that word.
These things currently that are legal, that I deem to be bad, and it's illegal, like aborting 1 million babies per year. It's illegal. You can't do it anymore. Like transgenderism, transforming your body from a man to a woman by getting all of these surgeries. That's illegal. You can't do it anymore. So all of these things, voting, you don't have the right to vote anymore. That's illegal. Would you follow that law?
Well, I mean, I'm not gay, so I mean, literally none of these things would apply.
If you couldn't vote anymore, would you follow that law?
Well,
would you follow? I mean, you have to. Not that you have any other option. I mean, you can do what I guess they did in the 1900s and make a movement to where you can start to vote, maybe. And maybe they can do that. But I mean, you just wouldn't. But
I would have to, because it's law, and men, I'm sure, would be there to brutally enforce it. So I probably wouldn't be able to, even if I wanted to break that law.
Would you want to break the law?
Would I want to be able to vote? Yeah, I'd want to be able to vote. But I wouldn't be able to because it's a law, and we have men there, like you said.
Okay, so would you be a POS? Would that make you a POS because you didn't follow the law?
Well, I mean, you wouldn't be. See, the voting thing is not a good example. You're just not
No, what are you speaking about? I literally just did an internal critique on your own argument and reversed it back on you.
Right now. He's not even
You're talking about taking away human rights. Of course, I'm going to have a problem when human rights have been taken away. Yes, I would have a problem with that.
Okay, got it. So, but you are the one that said women's obligations is to follow the law.
Human obligations. We have the same obligations. Okay.
How do we have the same obligations if women can't even sign up for selective service?
What?
Okay, we don't have the same.
She's talking on a broad level. That's why she tried to get him to define what is a man's obligation. But now she said, okay, a person's obligation is to abide by the law, don't break the laws, and don't be a POS. That's it. He thought that was the definition for women. No, that wasn't her definition. And he's saying, an obligation of a man is to sign up for selective service. Well, women don't have an obligation. Yes, because there's difference. That could have been one of your things to define what men's obligation is.
Do women have to sign up for selective service?
Do men have to?
If we want the right to vote, go to college and things like that.
Wait a minute. To vote, men have to sign up for service?
Selective service?
Yes. Or it's like what is it? If you take out a student loan, you have to sign up for a selective service. To vote, you probably have to register to get a driver's license or ID. You have to sign up for selective service. So yes, that is one of the obligations. Hold on.
Chris, do you not know this? Yeah, you're the feminist. You want things to be equal between men and women.
Well, then that's ridiculous.
You don't know that? Okay. Do you? All right.
That's ridiculous. Probably, yeah. Yeah. Well, she didn't know that. God, why do you know that?
It's ridiculous. Should women sign up for selective service?
No, I don't think anyone should have to be forced to do anything. You know what I mean?
But you do think that we're all humans and we should just follow the law and not be POSs?
Yeah, I mean, yes, in general, but I also.
And I'm asking you, and I'm telling you right now, I'm telling you the law.
Our laws, and we have to, right, and I get
I'm telling you the law currently right now, men have to sign up for selective service and women don't. That's the law. Men have to sign up for selective service. Women don't.
I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Like I have to look into that. So to vote.
You didn't know?
You all have to sign up for service.
Yes.
What? Now that's fucked up. I wanna do that.
Wait, Ceci, wait. Oh my God. Okay. Well, that's not a loss on a point, but like, damn. Yeah, like, bro, to go to college, to get loans and stuff. Well, student loans to be exact. Driver's license, to vote. Yeah, you got to be for SS. Yep.
Stupid. Like she doesn't know everything. No, I don't know everything, but also I don't agree with that. I think that's insane.
Okay,
that's
so
if you're a citizen and you're 18, you should be able to vote. Like,
so
I think
there you go. That answered one of your questions. One of the answers. You had a question. You said, well, what's men's obligation? We got to sign up for selective service. We got to protect this country. That's the main obligation.
We could have spoken about that, couldn't we? But you didn't want to answer that question.
No, you answered it. You said that women's fair.
No,
fair enough.
That's totally crazy. If that's the case, that's totally crazy, and we should undo that.
True.
Okay, but that's the law right now. And if we want to try to undo that under your worldview of what obligations we have is to follow the law and not be POSs, this would mean that men should follow that law.
No, protesting is not against the law. Writing to your Congress is not against the law. Legislation, trying to push things through policy is not against the law. These are other ways of fighting against things and changing and rebelling. You can do things within the law still.
Your mic is a little muffled right now. Maybe move it back a little bit. It got muffled.
Okay.
That's better now. It was like muffled.
So,
okay, I heard what you said though, but all right, so I mean, like, it's crazy because you are a feminist and you conceded on so many points that women are pretty much being coddled in society. They don't grant rights. I'm getting to something here. Women don't grant any of their own rights. They have to appeal to men to get their rights granted for them. They're not obligated to anything. They have no obligations but to follow the law and not be POSs. But at the end of the day, men are obligated to many things. Men are obligated to, men are obligated to protect this country in the military. We're obligated to sign up for selective service. We are obligated to maintain the current infrastructure. Women are the ones in STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. It's mostly men. And even when women were liberated and got the choice to join science, technology, engineering, and math and go into those career fields, they chose not to. They still go into fields like being a secretary, being a nurse, and dealing with people.
A lot of people are enrolled in STEM, or women. I mean, 35% of the people who graduate in STEM are female. Out of 100 students, 31. I mean, it's more than it's probably ever been. When did this come out? What year is this? 2023. 100% in STEM for many years, but industry. I mean, just because there's more of doesn't mean that these numbers should be like ignored. Like that's a big percentage, right?
Obligated to maintain the current infrastructure. Women are the ones in STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. It's mostly men. And even when women were liberated and got the choice to join science, technology, engineering, and math and go into those career fields, they chose not to. They still go into fields like being a secretary, being a nurse, and dealing with people. So women have no obligations in this current society at all, but they get all these rights and special privileges, but they have no obligations to give back to the society. One of women's ultimate gifts to society is babies, and they're aborting 1 million babies per year. They're not obligated to anything.
Men have that one obligation, which is to serve if they want to vote.
No, I've went through many other obligations when it came to.
But that's the one that I think should be repealed. That's crazy. I'm still shocked by that. That sounds insane. But as far as outside of that though, I don't think people should have obligations in the way of to society outside of just, like we said, following the law, not being a POS. But you still can fight the law.
I don't like how this is going.
Within it. Like,
yeah, but like, if you think that people, so real quick, so then that's your true So this is how you are defining things then. Human beings the only thing that they should be obligated to is to follow the law, but if they don't like the law, they can, try to fight against the law. So it's not necessarily follow the law. It's like follow the law with an asterisk there, but okay, follow the law and then not be POSs. Okay, but once again, there's a lot of, you agreed already. Influence creates thinking, thinking creates behavior. So we do know that we can influence people to a degree, meaning that they have to be susceptible to it, but we can still get to the minds that are susceptible to certain influences, right? So if people are susceptible to certain influences, it would be good to influence people in a way where they would be good, productive members to society. Like currently right now, I don't think that women aborting 1 million babies per year, I don't think that that's a good thing. Do you think that's truly a good thing? Or do you think, well, it's women's choice, so have at it?
Yeah, it's their choice.
There are many situations which wouldn't allow a woman to take care of a kid. And also, I think that it does matter what's going on.
So should we make that exception? Should we make...
No, but you have to understand what you're going to add to the world. By forcing people to have children, men and women.
No. No one's saying that. You just said that you don't think that women aborting 1 million babies per year is necessarily a bad thing and then you went to the exceptions because what if it's great?
You weren't letting me finish
you went to the exceptions.
So.
No,
okay, go ahead, finish your
thought. Of the thought, like, can I land a fucking plane at some point here?
Sure,
maybe not. Anyway, so with the abortion, some of them, yes, you have to break down like how many of those were because of rape and late term and miscarriage, but the ones that are elective, there are also a multitude of reasons why someone wouldn't be able to do it. And a lot of the times it's going to be economic. And I think it's important for people to take their economic situation into account when deciding when they're going to have a child. We have, what is it? I think 360,000 kids in the system right now. And
so money justifies killing a child?
Quality of life. No, but it's the quality of life. Some people here are just pro-birth. They don't care what happens to the kid after it's born.
Pro-birth, that's a good one.
But we don't have enough people, enough money. That's just the reality. When we have more mouths to feed, when we've been cutting SNAP benefits, how are we going to feed these kids that we currently can't feed, let alone adding to the world?
True.
Well, yeah. Well, once again, that's with the indoctrination and the movement towards feminism and women in the workforce.
Yeah,
because
like
how do you do that?
Household. Wait, a lot of people can't have a one income
because
household.
of feminism.
No, it's not.
Because of feminism?
Prior to feminism, men and women.
Because feminism, now we can't afford a one-person household. Nice one. That's a nice assessment. I don't know where he got that reading from, or just make that up just now. Like,
and a nuclear family did fine with a man working and a woman at home because it didn't take two incomes to live in society. Right. Think about it.
So at that
feminism is for
because it doesn't matter if a woman wants to be in or out of the home as long as the economy is okay.
No, that's not what I said. What I'm saying is, with the movement towards feminism and women moving into the workforce, what it did was decrease the wages for men. It decreased the wages for men. If you have...
Did wages... Hold on. If it did, oh well. But damn, I don't think that's true. I mean, the AI overview says, research has not found that men's wages decrease when women gain the right to vote. The connection between women's suffrage and economic outcomes is complex, and the entry of women into the workforce had a minimal effect on men's wages in short term. The period of women's suffrage, in the short term, sure, yeah. But then guess what? There was a huge pay gap. Is he going to ignore that? I didn't even have to look that up. There's been a huge pay gap, and they're trying to cut that pay gap. Obviously, it's like still to this day. So, the period of which women's suffrage was expanding coincided with the broader economic and societal shifts, making it difficult to isolate any single cause for wage changes. Hold on. The impact of increased female labor participation on male wages is complex and debated, with some research suggests a decrease in wages for men within specific occupations, while other studies indicate overall wage growth for both genders due to increased workforce productivity and skills. The traditional idea that women's entry into the workforce directly lowered men's wages is often considered a lump of labor fallacy, and the lump of labor fallacy is probably so the lump of labor fallacy is the economic misconception that there is a fixed, finite amount of work in an economy and that more workers inevitably lead to more unemployment. Wait, do people think that? This idea is incorrect. Wait, do people think that? Okay, let me read that again because there's no way. So is he thinking that? So this is his way of thinking. The lump of labor fallacy is the economic misconception that there's a fixed, finite amount of work in an economy, and that the more workers inevitably lead to more unemployment. Not true. Thanks, AI. By the way, you're making it pretty. Yeah, thanks. See what research does, but he's still stuck on the same talking point since 2012. Okay, and then now enraged with 2020 talking points. Yeah, good job. Good job. What's his name? Cooley. Yeah, nice. Anyway, let me go back a little bit.
Feminism is for listen.
Because it doesn't matter if a woman wants to be in or out of the home as long as the economy is okay.
No, that's not what I said. What I'm saying is, with the movement towards feminism and women moving into the workforce, what it did was decrease the wages for men.
It did not.
It decreased the wages for men.
Didn't.
If you
it
have,
didn't.
Okay.
Do not
shake your head. If
get away with that.
Then okay. Let's say you have a company. You got a company. You got 50 people in your... Women don't get paid less. I could debunk that next. You got 50 people in your company.
Women did get paid less.
50 people working for you. Then it's like, you know what? I can double it. I can get everybody's wife to work for me too. Would wages increase or would wages decrease?
Wait, say that again?
You got a company, right? No matter what company it is. You got 50 men working for you. All these men are married men, right? Feminism is the promotion of equality. Women should enter the workforce and be equal to a man, equal opportunity. So these women went into your company. All these wives of these husbands that work for you went into your company, hypothetically, right? Okay. Would you pay all of them the same? Well, I'm saying that will wages increase? Like would people make more money or would people make less money in your company?
Well, if I was bringing on more people, I'm going to pay them the same for the same job. Same job, same pay.
Okay, same job, same pay.
That's it. I mean, some people obviously are better at the job than others. Obviously, that's why they have promotions and such. But I wouldn't base that. Yeah, right. I wouldn't base that on the man or woman thing.
Now that's you got your company. Now Bob, he has a company. Steve, he has a company. And all of these wives are entering the workforce, and this causes competition within one another, within all of these different organizations and all of these companies. Is all of these companies still going to pay the men the same over time, or do you think that wages are going to decrease over time when women?
They would not pay the women, and they didn't. They paid them less for the same job. So in his own example, is he trying to say that women entering this company, the workforce of 50 people, now to make 100 people, now like, okay, now we're going to cut the men's wages because there's too many people to pay. They may, again, it's like a short-term loss. They may cut their pay just a little bit, but with more productivity and more demand of their product or service, they can then make more money and then increase wages overall. But in this sense, they wouldn't. They would increase it for the men only and keep the women the same. That's how they would do it. But he doesn't know. He's gonna be dishonest and just say that only men's wages would decrease because now women are entering the workforce. Oh well, since you're entering, I guess now we have less money to go around. Okay, nah. But you're a company. If you are not paying people enough money to support the amount of workers, you shouldn't have a business. Like that's just it. Or you have bad business practices. That's literally what it is.
Into the workforce. No, I'm saying that it's cause and reaction. If you're speaking about economics, you would know this. If you think about it. If you apply to a job and they really need employees, obviously you can negotiate a higher rate. Or they'll just offer you a good rate because they really need employees. But if it's an influx of extra employees and it's not a need like that, they can just go ahead and get employees anywhere. Well, do you really have the same negotiation power to negotiate a higher rate? No, you wouldn't, because this company can just hire anyone.
Could.
Sure, I get what you're saying. More
Did you follow?
Creates more, but I get what you're saying. Like more people in the workforce.
More people creates lower wages. With feminism, bringing in women into the workforce is more people into the workforce, lower wages. It just
and guess who got the lower wages? Can you answer that? Who got lower wages? Who got the short end of the stick? Can you answer that? I don't think you can.
It's basic economics.
What do you say about families though who can't afford to have a one-income household? They just can't. I mean, today a lot of people
now they can't.
They can't.
That's because of feminism.
It's not because of feminism. Oh my God, he's so bad faith. Is he?
It's think that companies and corporations.
What is he saying?
I'm blaming feminism, which is the movement for women to be in the workforce, which you would agree that lower wages is not good, and having to rely on both father and mother to work currently in 2025.
It's not good. Of course it's not.
Of course it's not good. Yeah. And we got to this point. It was many things that got us to this point, but one of the main reasons was feminism.
I'm like, bro, she needs to, because he's saying that when women enter the workforce, men suffer. They lost their wages because women. No, that's not true. Yes, maybe they take an initial loss by hiring more workers, but when they increase their productivity and the demand of their services, they bring in more money. They can pay the workers more. But guess what? Only one person got the increased pay. Can you guess who it is? Which is why they were still trying to fight the wage gap, but it's not a real thing. Come on, Ceci, come on. But he's being really dishonest. He really is. And it's just his warped worldview for whatever reason. I don't know.
And moving in the workforce because it increased the employers. So now that
also our economy has increased. Our GDP went up for a long time until recently. So women were actually adding and helping. And I feel like
true,
for men,
they were. Paid them less and came up with they hired women, paid them less, and came up with the women do work worse than men excuse. Yes, I'm off rip. That's I'm like, it's not even just, it's not true. I'm just saying, in the case where they did get paid the same, in any case, I don't know, we'll just use the example, in Bob's company, and they got paid the same, but they had to take a little bit of a hit, so instead of $5 an hour, they got paid $4. Okay, well, it all took a hit, okay? But then when they are producing a lot of things, they have their high demand, they're expanding, okay, we can afford to probably pay our workers a little more, okay? And they do, in this example, they can only pay the men. But off rip, women going into the workforce, going to a company, working for Bob, they're just not going to pay them as much. They're just not. I don't know why he's being super dishonest on history.
I would think that at least it's a little bit of a stress reliever because you don't have to be that sole provider, because that's a lot of pressure for men. Don't you feel like
feminism didn't cause, what do you say? Not being able to pay for things. No, it's just because things are expensive and it's capitalism. Even though I don't mind capitalism, but that's what happened, bro. Not feminism. Feminism is operating in a capitalistic society and patriarchal. Like, come on now.
No, because women listened to us more back then when it wasn't working, so it's less pressure for
women. Women should just do what they're told. They should just listen to men.
True.
What did I just say? You said that it's more pressure for men, and I just refuted that it wasn't more pressure for men. Men, we are built to work. We're built to work. This is what we're built for. Women,
True.
yeah, you're built to be a helpmate. You're built to do certain things in the world and to society, but to do certain jobs out there
we're just not
and to work as
if you're gonna just if you want to talk about economics, sure, but if you're gonna say feminism caused an increase in cost of living and why we need 2 incomes for a household, that's dishonest. That's just not true. Feminism did not cause that.
as many hours to work, to do roofing, to work under all of this heat. No, your body can't even regulate the heat temperature like men can. So you're actually not built from a physical standpoint.
I mean, they can. Okay.
Listen, you're not even built from a physical standpoint to do a lot of these jobs that maintain the infrastructure that I would say that is men's obligation. Listen, I would say that that's a men's obligation to do.
Women can.
You didn't give any obligation to women. They can abort their babies. They can divorce their husbands.
They don't do
what
anything.
obligations do women have to society?
What do they do?
You are. I'm not putting obligations on other people.
If men weren't obligated to it and didn't do it, then we wouldn't have this first world country that we live in with clean water and we can poop and flush our toilets and it goes into the sewage. And when something gets clogged up, there's a man that jumps down into this hole with all of this poop.
Yes,
I don't see any women jumping down into that hole with all of that
You're
poop
right.
and cleaning
I
it
don't
up.
see
So
anybody
obviously
because
men,
you don't see anybody over there because you don't even care. You don't care about
women don't
them.
want to do it. Listen, women don't want to do it. They are liberated. They have all the free reign and free choice. That they wanted to do it, they would enter the same careers that men do that maintain the infrastructure. Women don't want to do it. So what are women's obligations? So listen, if men
do not enter,
it's very simple.
They don't want to do that either.
It's very simple. If women don't want to do these things,
far more than men do, right? Like being in nursing homes, taking care of older folk. Like a lot of nurses, I don't like that. Those are jobs that men weren't going to fill, or maybe they would, but it wouldn't be enough.
Okay, are women obligated to do those jobs?
I don't think you're obligated to crawl down a fucking hole for whatever.
Okay, then if women,
so look what you just said. Job. I don't think
what? So there's no. So women should just live in Narnia land.
How to live? This
Got
is
it.
your role.
Women should live in Narnia land, and men are the ones that enforces all these constructs that they come into their mind. It's heaven for women right now. It's literally heaven. Think about it. You got no obligations.
True.
You got no obligations,
So right.
and then these men enforce all of these constructs in your head. You're not obligated to nothing. This is literally heaven. Listen.
No, I'm sick of hearing this. Men have obligations, women don't. What are you? Are you crawling down that hole? What you?
Yo, this is heaven. I just came to this realization.
Not to do that job. The same reason a woman wouldn't choose to do that job. That's not what I want to do. That's not what you want to do either. Thank God there's someone else who's willing to do it. I don't care if it's a man or a woman.
How about we use this word? Do women have a purpose in society? What's women's purpose?
I don't know how to answer that because what's a man's purpose?
To do what they feel.
I think our purpose.
Oh damn, bro! What is the purpose? Damn. The purpose of anything. What's the purpose of what's the point of anything? Dang, I guess we can talk about. I mean, yeah. What's the purpose of anything? Can you answer that?
You're representing feminism very well right now. Actually, I'll just give you a round of applause. You are representing feminism very well. Women don't have a purpose. That has no obligations.
Because I think that's about humans too. About men too. I don't think they're obligated to me. I don't think that you guys should have to do something either. I'm not your typical feminist, I guess, because I don't sit here and play the whole women are better than men either. I think that it goes down to much more like individual basis.
Okay, so if men aren't obligated to do anything, right?
No, here's the thing. You keep saying we're not obligated, so nothing would get done. But some people would do that because that's where they find their purpose. They might feel, oh, I like doing that. There's my purpose in life. So,
well, I'm asking you, what is women's purpose?
I think your purpose is your personal purpose. I don't think women have
women as a whole, collectively.
Your purpose.
We all know we're individuals, and some people want to make some different choices in regards to certain things. But if you had to give a prescription, if you had to prescribe something to women as a whole, if you were the president of the United States and you wanted to prescribe something to women to move them in a direction that's good for society, what would you prescribe to them? What would you advise women's purpose to be or obligations to be in society? What would you advise women? To make society better.
To treat people the way they treat you. Men or women, black or white, doesn't matter. Just treat people the way that they treat you.
Okay, so if people treat women bad, then women are going to treat people.
Wait, rephrase that. Treat people the way you want to be treated, not treat people the way they treat you, because you don't want to do that.
Bad?
No, that's the thing.
It's an eye for an eye? You just said eye for an eye.
Treat people the way that you want to be treated, I guess. Treat people the way you want to be treated is what I meant.
Okay, all right.
Treat people the way you want to be treated is what I meant.
So she must
and I think that's pretty basic. I mean, if you give me respectfully, I'm going to give it back. I have no reason to not.
Okay, so it's not a woman's purpose isn't to, have children, raise a family, give back to your community, go give to charity.
Humans need to procreate. Yeah, humans do. That man can't do it without
but we are below replacement level. Replacement level is 2.1 babies per woman, and we are at 1.6 babies per woman. So we are below replacement. We can't.
Boo hoo. Who cares? You actually care about the birth rate? No, he doesn't. You don't care about them not being more babies in the streets. You don't care.
Replace our own population because women are choosing to abort over 1 million babies per year because we have women like you that think women aren't obligated to anything in society.
Or women are also aborting because of different reasons. I know that she's going to go exceptions, but I mean, a lot of women are, 60 a day.
People aren't just having people are just having, okay, I'm making pregnant, have an abortion. I mean, there could be some sick individual. There's an exception to that too. People's like, I want an abortion. Like, okay, that's sick. Okay, where they make bad choices, they're out of the street. Sure, something happens. There are exceptions for literally anything. But people aren't just having abortions because they can or feminism. No, that's not where this comes from. Like he's fighting this. He's fighting this invisible feminist ghost that he thinks is like the textbook feminist girl who's doesn't listen to a man, has abortions, doesn't do anything, is whatever, act like a Karen. Like, bro, like that's his like ideal person he's prescribing to her and everyone who labels as a feminist that deems it not real. What he's saying, like, it's what do you say? It's like not real or impossible or something. So yeah. But yeah, so yeah, people just have them for fun. There could be people, but there also is majority not. That's not how it works. And she's trying to bring up financial reasons. Maybe they did make a bad decision. Maybe they don't have, the capacity to have a kid. Yeah, sure, both of them laid together to conceive the child, and they both made a bad decision. Sure, you could say, oh, is it her fault more than his? Who cares? I don't know. But whatever happens, whatever outcome, there is a reason to do it, not just because they think it's fun, because feminism said they can. No, that's not what it is. Because it's not even like a easy process. Thinking like, oh, I'm just gonna have an abortion. Like, no, you could probably die from it. Okay, don't just do it because I'm gonna just do it. It's fun. I'm gonna do it tomorrow, next week. I'm gonna plan for this. Like, no, like really, like that's very like invasive on your body. You lose a lot of fluids. You're like it's not fun. That's just somebody just do like for sport.
Right now are being denied abortions because they're raped. 60 a day raped, right? That's a lot. So those exceptions matter, and economy matters, human bodily autonomy matters. I don't think anyone should be forced to do anything. Like the fact that you guys just told me that you have to sign up for service, that is insane. No one should be forced to do anything. I genuinely look at us as human beings.
Okay,
now,
so let's just do the math. You said 60. You said 60. You said 60 grapes are 60 abortions are done a day because they are
being denied. They're not being done. 60 a day are being denied to women.
Okay, let's just go with your stats. So 60 women that got raped. They're going to the clinic and they are trying to get an abortion because they were raped, right? This only totals to 21,600 babies per year.
Well, that's just the recent one. Last year, I think it went to 30,000. And if after you go beyond that, you go to miscarriages because they do count those in that number. You can then go to late term. When
they count.
And on top of that, though,
think about this.
You have to think about just the
You're proving my point even more.
Instead of going to women and saying like, oh, they just want to kill their babies and stuff. Maybe we should look at what's happening within that scope, like these lives. Like, why are people doing it? Usually, it's going to be a lot of the times economic.
Because they have no purpose.
Can't afford to.
I'll tell you why.
They have no. It's just the purpose thing. Get out of here, bro.
It's never been like that. If that's the case, then in third world countries where they don't even have clean water, and even in America, the poor people have the most babies. So if that's the case, it doesn't. Your correlation does not equal causation at all. Is because the most people that have babies.
How many of those countries though have
Let me land my plane. Let me go ahead and land my plane. The most people that have babies in America are under the poverty line. These are the people that have the most babies. So if it's the case, like you said, well, these women want to abort their babies because due to economic reasons, they don't have financial stability and stuff like that, then why is it that poor people have the most babies? Why is it that?
Because they can't afford an abortion.
In other countries,
have babies. If those women didn't abort,
this refutes your argument to your justification.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah,
more
it does.
If 1 million weren't aborted, then we would just have more people that are poor with babies. I'm not saying all poor people just have babies or don't, but economics do play into a part of why someone would decide that.
Because
honestly,
these women have no purpose, is what I'm telling you. So think about this real quick.
Or they decided that's not my purpose.
Think about this. Think about well, obviously that isn't true, because if that's not their purpose, they would actually, instead of using all of these plan Bs to plan Zs, they would say that's not my purpose. Let me go ahead and be abstinent, not have sex because that's not my purpose, or let me be on birth control and have protected sex instead of unprotected sex, right?
But doesn't he hate birth control because that's feminism? Because like wait, so now you're gonna tell them to go on BC?
Right? So once again, what you're saying here, it just doesn't map on to the cause of abortions. If it's the case that, well, women in bad social economic statuses and below the poverty line, they don't know how they're going to pay rent or XYZ, so they're aborting their babies. Why is it that the community, why is it that the class of the community that has the most babies is the poverty class, is below poverty line?
Maybe because they have babies. Maybe because they have too many.
I mean, there's a lot of that. Is he saying that in good faith, or just saying like, oh, why are they? If your example is they're doing it for financial reasons, why would somebody poor? I don't think he's doing it in good faith, like he's asking, or he's just saying it to get a gotcha. Because again, those two things, you have to take into account the context of a poor person having a baby who is below poverty line, they have like 10 kids, rather than someone who maybe made a bad decision and don't have the means to support the child, even if they're kind of okay-ish, maybe they're not poverty, but maybe they're just low income and they can't take care of the kids, so they're probably gonna have an AB. Like, it's just that may be a thing. But again, he isn't like exceptions, he isn't like context, he isn't like anything. He wants to be just black and white or in a vacuum. Nothing can happen because of something else. Like,
then that refutes your argument.
No, that's why they're poor, maybe because they had the kid, and because now all of the money has to go to that kid to make sure.
And because they're usually unemployed, which means all they have time to do is lay around the house and get some play, and they have a kid, and they can't buy protection. They don't have plan B. They just happen to have kids. Like, that's what it is. So if they don't have a job, they're gonna be at home. There's gonna be just having kids. If they didn't want the kid, well, you can't pay for an AB because you're poor, you're below the poverty line, and well, you should have gotten plan Bs. Well, I can't afford a plan B because I'm poor. Well, then it's like, because he's not gonna take into account any of those factors. It's just like, oh, well, poor people, they have kids, so I don't know. You can see, like, no, that's not how it works.
Needs. Maybe that's why people are now below the poverty line. That could also be
people are below the poverty line is because it takes two
feminism.
incomes in a household to maintain to pay your bills, and that's because of feminism allowed all of these women into the workforce.
True. That's why.
For everything, but men created everything.
I hate feminism.
You haven't given me any refutations for any of my arguments. You haven't refuted any of them.
Yeah, I have. You're sitting here telling me that economics doesn't matter.
She needs to. She's not attacking him on his points more, because he's making really bold statements like feminism is the reason why we can't. We had to have 2-income households. Like, that's just not true. Feminism is the reason. Yeah, okay, sure. You're right. He's right.
It does. Why are poor people having babies? Maybe that's why they're poor, because they had too many babies, one, and also maybe they didn't have money for the abortion.
No. You moved it off of it. What I'm saying is this.
No.
People that are below poverty line, people that make $30,000, $35,000 a year or under, they have the most babies, including average people as well, people that make around $50,000 a year. If you look at the stats, once you get up to $80,000 and $100,000+ a year, the amount of children that you have, the amount of children that women bring into this world decreases, is what I'm saying.
Does he know why?
Even divorce rates increase. When women make more, divorce rates decrease. Marriage rates decrease. So what you're saying, it doesn't map on to the cause of things. Now, we were speaking about purpose, right?
Why?
And you, for some reason, you don't have the ability to tell women what their purpose is. You think that,
humans can create they can decide what their purpose is. I mean, I feel like you slowly discover what your purpose is. No, I mean, what's your purpose?
Okay, well, I'm saying that the reason why women are aborting a lot of these babies and they have no direction in life is because they don't know their purpose. They have no purpose because women like you that have your same mindset influence them because they're susceptible to believe that, oh, I can do battle by myself. I'm liberated. I don't need to have any purpose. Purpose? What? I can do anything. If women had a purpose, they would know that they would get a lot of fulfillment and happiness out of a family and children.
Women decide their purpose. Some women decide, I want to be in science. I want to be in a career. I want to be a mom. They get to decide their purpose. Not every feminist is like anti-family. Not everyone, like some of us want to do both. That's all. Or we want a partner who's going to meet us halfway. I don't get why we have to look at it as always a men versus women. Why can't it just be a partnership? Because one can't exist without the other. I'm aware of that. I'm totally fine saying thank you to men who helped get us our rights.
Well, men can exist without women because under your worldview, women are not. Well, and under your worldview, men can exist without women because women aren't obligated to do anything. Women aren't obligated to do nothing.
Men cannot exist without women.
But the thing is, men do have obligations under your worldview, and guess what?
They don't. I literally said
they don't have any obligations.
I literally said I don't think that I should impose obligations onto anyone, and I don't like the thought of doing that. That's
not imposed. We are speaking about. Yeah, what we're speaking about here is when we're speaking about obligations, because you've already basically conceded on the debate, so we're kind of moving into, since men.
I don't get it. Like, what does
didn't.
feminism do? Like, well, let me ask you this: what is feminism?
All right, I was just talking.
Yeah, but I can ask a question. All right, go ahead. That's okay.
As soon as Cooley finishes, you can respond.
But he just rambles.
So we've already conceded on a debate, and you agreed that you made many concessions. So we're moving towards prescriptions and stuff like that. Like, since you still think feminism is good for society, really, you actually conceded on that point too. But what is women's purpose, or what is women's obligation to society? I want to speak about that to see, like, where do you think that we should even move women towards? Should we move them towards, so our birth rate is?
Why can't men move at all? Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, I don't understand.
Okay.
Why is the onus everything on women?
Because feminism.
Okay, you know why? Because
Feminism.
women don't have any obligations.
Why
So
we make
since
the
they have
same
no
face? Oh, we did? Whenever. Wait, was I like that? Like. Bro. Like. I'm just like, dude. Okay.
They're not.
Wow.
So our birth rate
Why
is.
can't men move at all? Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, I don't understand.
Okay.
Why is the onus everything on women?
Because feminism.
Okay, you know why? Because
You said
women
so.
don't have any obligations.
True.
So since they have no obligations, they're not obligated to anything under your worldview. You can't even name any obligations, or you don't even know what women's purpose is. So therefore, the onus would be on them. We're looking. Listen, we're looking for women to do something because they're not obligated to anything.
We're not doing anything. We're not doing enough for you. Is that what you're saying? Women don't do
If
enough.
we are
It's
below
like,
population,
I don't even know if she should give what women's purpose is, because that was give her more ammunition to attack that. Like, it seems like she doesn't have an answer, which I know she does, but she doesn't want to say it, is because that's basically her walking into a show. Oh, well, so only women do this and that. See, told you. Well, the only purpose is this. Like, he's going to box her in with that. She's just saying everyone's obligation should be up to them and their skills, not on their, gender. And she doesn't want to impose someone's obligation to them. She personally would not want to impose, hey, you should go to war because I said so, because you're 18 or you're a man, like, you should go to war. Like, she's saying for herself, she doesn't think it's morally correct to impose obligation on someone else, which is fair. But I don't know. I don't even know if she'll really answer it, which I don't know if she should.
level.
Tune Lagoon, what's up, Steven? Goon Squad. Just go full racist and say no, but she tried to, but he's like, hey, don't go that way, because someone just tried to debate me and it's apples to oranges. I'm like every time she tries to, he's like, oh, well, it's not the same thing. Yeah, yes, it is. He's trying to say that, oh, in order to feminism or women to be able to vote, they had to appease the man. Well, guess what? Civil rights a black person didn't sign civil rights into fruition. No, they didn't. Who did they have to appease to? But it's apples to oranges, by the way. You can't compare those two. Like, if you talk about that, he gets all sensitive. So she literally can't. Like, oh, it's not real. So civil rights isn't real because they had to appease to white people to get civil rights enacted. Like, really? That's what we're gonna say. But apples to oranges. So we can't do that. We can't do that. Like, God, he's so dishonest. He is. He is. I didn't know it would be this bad faith, honestly. I didn't know it would be like that. Yeah, I mean, true, she doesn't want to come off as racist. Well, the thing is, she wouldn't, but it's a fair criticism. That's a fair comparison. It's not even trying to be in a racist way. It's just like, hey, there's hierarchies in place, and in order to get equality, you kind of have to ask the people, be like, hey, let's have equality. The person in power, one with the most money and influence, let's make this, this place equal. Like, you kind of have to appease to them. Not appease. You have to kind of work with them in a sense. So it's like, yeah.
I would say not.
But it takes a man and a woman, so maybe men should get busy too. I don't know what to say to that.
Oh no, men are getting busy, but women are aborting men's children. Is what I'm saying. What can't you understand?
They're pro-choice men, right? And most of the time, those decisions are made within the couple.
Yeah, but wait. Yeah. But he won't admit that. A lot of the times the man's like, oh, I don't want it. And when in the case where the woman keeps it, the woman's the demon. Oh, I don't want it. Oh, I slipped up. My bad. Oh, no, I'm going to keep the baby. I don't really want to get an AB. Man, oh, you bad, blah, blah, blah. So it's like, damn, it's like if you have it, it's your fault. If you keep it, it's your fault. And the man didn't want it. Like, so in a case where a man forces a girl to get an AB, that still goes to the AB count, but he wouldn't know because that's like an exception. Oh, women are just aborting. Well, you don't know this amount of times the men actually force her, or else they'll blackmail them, they'll leave them, whatever. They kind of have to get it because the man didn't want. Like, really? You're using her for child support. Yeah, true. But again, I promise you, this person does not exist. There may be some, but people are not just having kids to have ABs for fun. They are not marrying men to get divorced for fun, to get a check. They're not doing that. They don't just initiate divorce because, oh, I'm bored. Yeah, I'm bored. That's not, like, ABs are an excruciatingly invasive process that can kill them. Divorces are extremely embarrassing publicly. It's a embarrassing public process. No one wants to go through the divorce. Like, if you have to, you have to. But like, nobody's just doing these things for fun. So I don't know. His mind. He has this one feminist person who he's just prescribing all these attributes to, and saying if you're in this category, you have all these traits and these thought processes, and you have no purpose in life or in society. Like, dang, he's just so dishonest, bro. He really is.
Like, who do you think is helping pay for that abortion or driving her to the clinic?
Men have no say. Men have no say. Women have the final say when it comes to their body, bodily autonomy.
Right, but you enforce the rights.
Technically they should, but a lot of times they don't, because one, it can be outlawed, and two, it can have external coercion or influence to not have the AB or to have it. So
right.
Yeah.
Right.
We've already agreed that the patriarchy society enforced.
Do you really honestly don't believe that there are men who are? I mean, you know there are men that are pro-choice that are going to the clinic with us, that are helping pay for it because they themselves.
That doesn't negate what I said, though. That doesn't negate the argument. That does not negate the argument at all. No, I don't. Explain to me. Fine, great. Explain to me.
Control problem is a problem. That's on both sexes.
It's on both. Okay, so if it's on both, explain to me if it's on both. If men can whisper in a woman's ear, hey, you really should go ahead and get this abortion. I'll go ahead and pay for it. Hey, you really can go ahead and get this. I'll go ahead and pay for it. I'll go ahead and walk you to the clinic. Guess what? I'll be right outside the door after the abortion, and I'll rub your feet afterwards. If you're saying that, well, they're doing it together, that men are whispering in their ear, that doesn't mean anything, because if women, that's what you're basically saying. The choice, women have the final choice. No, women have bodily autonomy.
Well, yes, they have the final choice. Oh, he's being literal, but in a bad faith sense. Yes, technically, the woman has the final say, because like she has to then lay in the medical chair. She has to go through it. Though technically, yes, she has the final say because she doesn't want to. Technically, she has to show up. So sure, yeah, but like, there's more than just that. He's just being super dishonest, but there's more than just like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, go ahead.
Women have the final choice of abortion. Abortion is legal in all 50 states. All 50 states. The term, yeah, it is legal. The term limits is different, but it's legal everywhere.
It's fully banned. 10 states fully banned, 18 states where there's restrictions. But yeah, I see what you're saying.
There's not one state in America where it's fully banned. What are you speaking?
Let me see. Is abortion fully banned? Oh, would you look? Oh no, would you look at that? Oh no, 12 states have banned abortion. Alabama, Arkansas, Idaho, Indiana, Kentucky, Louisiana, Mississippi, Oklahoma, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, and West Virginia. Oh no, but she's so wrong. No one's banned it. That's just a made up number. You can get it if you want to. 12 states don't have a total of. In all 50 states, you can just go and have it. And it's your choice. You have the final say in it. And it's your fault if you do get it because you made it okay. No matter the circumstances, it's all your fault. He doesn't know that I actually got banned. Does he not know? What was the, like, why is this even a topic again? Why is pro-choice, pro-life even like a bubbling topic in like the 2020s? Like even with like the BLM stuff happening, 2020s, that was like when it was like, sorry to come because they overturned Roe v. Wade. Well, they can actually, oh my
Thinking
God.
about every state in America, it's legal. It's just different
True.
terms. Meaning if
He's
it's 4
so
weeks,
right. He's
stop
so
it.
right.
Meaning if it's 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks is different terms. So you're just lying. You are not correct. That is a lie. Abortion is legal in all 50 states.
No.
But okay, it's not. I mean,
it's not.
Anyways,
where does he live? Is he in New York? Where does he live?
If you're saying
He
that
probably
it
lives in a
takes two
liberal
for women
state.
to have abortions, how is it if the woman?
It takes two for someone to have a child. To have a
Child.
child.
No,
You
it
said there's a
doesn't.
population control problem.
Is it?
So I
Oh
just-
my God. He said, does not take two to have a child? Get me out of this, bro. Get me out of here. There is no way he can't be serious. I'm hoping he misspoke and I paused too soon because there's no way he said it does not take two. He's rage baiting. He's rage baiting. Oh my God. There's no way he just said that.
Question here. If you're saying
Oh
that it
my
takes two
God.
for women to have abortions, how is it if the woman?
I said it takes two for someone to have a child. To have a
No,
child.
no,
You
it
said there's a
doesn't.
population control problem. So I can
doesn't.
climb on top of myself and get pregnant.
No. It takes
Right,
no.
I
That's
would
different.
do.
It takes you. You
I'm
made an
talking-
error. You made an error. Listen, stop
It's
real quick.
not. Oh, he's playing the. He plays such a dishonest game. It's not even a fun debate tactic. Like, you know what she's saying. Yes, it is. I am not giving birth. Yes, I do not give birth to a child, but it takes two to make a child. There you go. Do I have to use third grade language for you? Oh my God.
It takes two to have a child. It does not take. Well, it takes two to get pregnant. It does not take two to have a child. You get what I'm saying? So it takes.
Why? Ceci, you're strong. You're strong, Ceci. You are. You're strong for sitting through this. Okay. You are. Oh my
two
God.
to get pregnant. It does not take two to have a child. We are speaking about the decline in the birth rate in today's society.
Right. And
We
so
are
you
below
just said that
replacement
takes
level.
A man and a woman.
But who
And
cares?
no, women have the final say. So if women get pregnant by a man,
all of us for all the abortions, but I'm telling you,
because women are the ones.
To give birth. Yeah, that's what he means. Then sure, yes, it takes only one person can give birth at a time. I'm not gonna give birth to my inevitable child. He's right. But it takes two to make a child. Pregnancy is part of having the child. Yes. Oh my God, he can't be real. Ceci, I don't know how you did it, bro. I don't know how you did it, bro. Oh my God, this is why I'm a feminist, bro. Because people like this, like, it's just not, you're not rooted in reality. What's up, Shock? They're just idiot. Yeah, we're being rage baited. Cause that's why I call myself feminist. Okay, you know what? At this point, yes. All right, that's why. Because this is so he's damn. Okay, calm down. What's a good, Shock? Okay, calm down. All right, calm down. Oh, he's so dumb. Oh my God, we gotta be like we're in kindergarten, bro. 1 + 1 = 2. Like, if it's not black and white, he won't even think of that as an option. Okay, come on.
Abort the babies.
And they also agree. Yeah, I don't want to be a dad. Let's do it. You think it's only women's fault. You want to put it all on women, but there are men who also have
There
no
you
choice,
go.
who
Get
don't
'em.
want to be dads. And I'm sure there are men who have forced women to have it, even when they didn't want to.
True.
Let's be real about that too. Those situations
Men that
definitely
force
exist.
women to have it, that's illegal. And I'm not sure how the
People
man
always
can
follow
do
the
that.
laws. Some people
No,
force.
the man
I mean,
can,
men,
and
right?
the
You
man,
said it.
the man
Ultimately,
can,
I don't
you know,
have to, but men force it.
no, the man can influence the woman if she's susceptible to being influenced like that. Then that's just her
Oh,
stupidity.
but I mean, wait, people can't be influenced. It's a part of weak mind. So yeah, true. Yep.
What I'm saying here is that
Maybe it's
even if we, I'll grant it to you. Let's just say, let's go ahead and grant this argument to you and say, well, you know, in order for a woman to get pregnant, it takes two. Well, actually, women are the ones that grant access to sex. A man can't have sex with a woman unless she grants access to sex. If not, it's
Yo, thank you, Shock, for the 29 months, bro. Appreciate it. God. Hey. This guy, he's on my nerves, bro. Hope you've been well, Shock. It's good to see you. I'm being rage baited, bro, by
for a
this
woman to get
debate.
pregnant, it takes two. Well, Actually, women are the ones that grant access to sex. A man can't have sex with a woman unless she grants access to sex. If not, it's considered rape. That would be illegal. So besides the exceptions of rape, these women are choosing themselves to have sex with the man that they choose to have sex with, and then get pregnant, and then abort that children. All of the choice is on
the... True, he's so right.
No, stop it. Even when it comes down to sex. Stop it. Even when it comes down to...
He's so right.
Impregnate her. They decided to have an abortion. Sometimes it's a couple that decides.
If women... Okay, let me ask you a question. Do women grant access to sex, yes or no?
Do women grant access? Yeah, but so do men, right? I mean, you could say no to me.
How has a man...
We both have to say yes.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just bring it back a little bit. Let's just bring it back a little bit so you understand. From a general standpoint, generally, right?
Both people have to be into it, correct? Both people have to be there for it, correct?
Let's let Cooley ask a question.
Let me ask a question. Yes, because you're not even answering the right question. Generally, do men approach women or do women approach men?
In my world, I approach men all the time.
This is gonna be lame now. Oh my god, you're going to... I'm so
you're asking the wrong girl, but I'm sure
I didn't ask you that question. My question was generally.
I'm sure amongst the norms.
Generally,
women.
I mean.
Okay, so generally, so this is the thing. We have to go with manipulation happens when you focus on the effects instead of getting to the root, the cause of things. If men are the ones that if men are the ones that approach women and women don't approach men, this means that women are the ones that is accepting these men to have sex with them, meaning that they're disqualifying some men but qualifying other men. You would say that's correct. Okay. So
you guys just fuck anything, or I don't get it.
Generally, do women approach men? We don't
generally.
Women don't approach men really.
I to say that. I do. I approach men.
Okay, can you think outside of yourself?
I will say, like I said, in general, I'm sure men approach women more. Yeah.
All right. So let me just run my line of argument here. So I'm saying that
go down your dialogue tree. Come on.
I'm getting to the root. I'm going to the root of it. If women are the ones that don't approach men and men are the ones that approach women, women have the authority to qualify men that they want. So they are choosing to say yes to some men, yes to others. Out of the men that they say yes to, obviously, it's a step forward. A date happens. If it escalates to anything else, sex happens because men cannot have sex with women without them saying yes. It will be considered rape. So this line of argument is linear. Women grant access of the relationship or the courting process. They grant access to sex, and then they have they make all of these choices: choice of choosing a man, choice of having sex with a man, and choice of getting pregnant by that man, and choice of aborting that man's baby. It's the onus is on women. It's women's fault why there's over 1 million abortions. It's not the man's fault.
Out or to shoot your load somewhere else. It's women's fault all the time that maybe the condom broke. It's a woman's fault because she got pregnant. Not everybody means to get pregnant. Accidents happen. Men have accidents all the time.
So you went
why
to
is it always
an
just
effect.
on women?
So let me help you out
because
real
it's
quick.
just on women all the time.
Let's just bring it back.
You're better than me. You're better than me, Ceci. You're better than me.
We are choosing to fornicate. We are choosing to take part in this. Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay, got it. If you agree with that, if women grant access to sex, meaning that you just went to these certain effects that can possibly happen, but women have full authority of controlling the situation since they grant access to sex. Women have full control.
Wait. Who overpowers who? Guess.
If women grant access to sex, they have full control over the sex situation.
They have control,
meaning that they can watch the man put on a condom, or they can be on birth control, or they can say, you know what, since I grant access to sex, I don't want to have.
But BC is a feminist thing. You shouldn't have BC.
Sex with any man unless I'm married. Okay. Unless this man is worthy, unless this man shows good characteristic traits of being a father where I won't abort his child. You get what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is it's women's choice. They are choosing these men. They are choosing to get pregnant and they are choosing to abort these children in America.
So can I ask you something? What happens if a man impregnates a woman, she chooses she wants to keep it, and he does not want to be a dad? What should he, like, he has an obligation, right? Like, they should get married and force a happy family unit? Like,
no, you know what happens? There's consequences.
They get thrown into the system?
No, listen, there's consequences because men do have obligations in society. There's not consequences for women because they don't really have any obligations in society. You know what the consequences are for men when they don't want the baby anymore and they leave the woman? Child support, consequences. And if they don't, they go to jail. If they don't, they lose their license. If they don't, they go to jail.
You think there are cops running around looking for every deadbeat dad that's out there? Nah. Well, plenty of you.
They are. They can't even get a job legally. They can't even get a job legally.
I'm not even going to sit here and just
They can't even have a mailing address unless the cops.
Wait, is that true? If a father leaves their kids, they can't get a job, or what? Is that what you're saying?
Consequences are for men when they don't want the baby anymore and they leave the woman. Child support, consequences.
Yeah, because you're supposed to support your kid, and the women are usually like the primary caretakers, and a kid's,
consequences. If they don't, they go to jail. If they don't, they lose their license. If they don't, they go to jail.
You think there are cops running around looking for every deadbeat dad?
If it means child support, if it means didn't pay child support, sure, yeah, you can probably pay some fines or probably serve some time in jail. Sure. But I mean, because if it's like, and like if it's like in a court of law, like, oh, you've been to the divorce stage or whatever, and there's a child involved, and you have to pay this much a month, and if you don't, yes, you can get arrested. But like just getting someone pregnant and leaving, there's no legal obligation in that sense. Like, yeah, there's no legal. Like, I'm not gonna go to jail if someone impregnates somebody, but they leave the next day and go fly to Japan. You won't find me. I mean, I'm not gonna get in jail. I don't think so. Because I mean, I don't know. I could be wrong, but it's like because there was no child support signed already. Like, you're still probably justified and owed money in child support, but legally, no. I could be wrong. I don't know.
That's out there. Nah. Well, plenty of you.
They are. They can't even get a job legally. They can't even get a job legally.
I'm not even going to sit here and just.
They can't even have a mailing address unless the cops will come to their home.
True.
No, listen. You're just wrong.
Have babies and then give it up for adoption. Do you think that's better? Like,
Ceci, you're just wrong on this. You're just wrong. No one's saying that they're wrong. You're moving the goalposts now. Listen, stop. It was your claim.
If I had given birth and me and my guy didn't want it, but we put it up into the system. Are we running away from our obligation or our responsibility?
Yeah, you're deadbeat parents. In my worldview, you're deadbeat parents, and you should
are also deadbeat.
Yes, they are deadbeat parents. If the children aren't up for adoption because they're mentally ill or they're on heroin or they're on some type of they're abusing drugs and DIFAS comes and takes their child and they're put into the system. But if two people are just like, oh, we went ahead and got pregnant. Oh yeah, let's agree and go ahead and give this baby up for adoption. They are deadbeat parents.
An abortion should happen. You just listed things of why it would not be considered a deadbeat dad if it was in a foster care system, as long as they're a drug addict.
No. What are you speaking about? I still don't think. No, that is not. You are trying to. That's not an entailment of my argument at all. I don't know where you just made that up. What I'm saying is I am not for women and men putting their children into the system or aborting their children at all. I'm pro-life. So that's not my argument.
He's not pro-life.
I think that under my worldview, men and women have purpose and they have obligations to society, right? And a man's obligation, we see that in society. And if he doesn't adhere to certain obligations, there's consequences if he doesn't adhere. You get what I'm saying? Like if he just wants to run.
Taxes, right? We all have to pay taxes. There's an obligation to society. We all have to do. Otherwise, you go to jail.
Okay, once again, you gave a mutual obligation. I'm speaking about an obligation for women.
Women have to do, men have to do, because it's a human thing. Obligation.
No. I can give you an obligation. There's many obligations that men. What are you speaking about?
With the voting, which that to me still is crazy.
Abortion too. We have no say.
Well, no, I mean, listen, women don't have a say anymore either in a certain other states.
You know, but you have the say to agree if it's legal or not, because 12 states have banned it already. He didn't know, by the way.
You know what I mean? Like, that's going to be taken away from everyone. Men and women alike aren't going to have a choice if they federally ban it. So we'll be equal in that.
It is not.
We'll have that right taken.
So once again, out of all the 50 states, abortion is not illegal.
There were trigger laws in place. Georgia is literally a forced birth state. And when you're sitting here like 4 weeks, most women don't know they're pregnant before then because we won't get our period. It takes a month, or maybe you'll get your period the first 2 months, and then so that 4 week thing, that is just.
No, listen, the woman, if she's in Georgia or a state where there's a different term, see, you don't understand even the laws. You're supposed to be a feminist, but you don't even understand the laws that feminists are for. No, wrong. Abortion is legal in all 50 states. States have different term limits, meaning that some you can have an abortion all the way up to 32 weeks. Some you can have an abortion up to 18 weeks. Some you can only have an abortion 6 weeks. So there's different terms, but overall you can have an abortion. This makes it This makes it legal in all 50 states, which refutes your claim to be untrue. Now, if a woman is in a state and she is after that term limit to have an abortion, she can always go to a different state, a state.
But it's just not, abortion is illegal in the states I listed. They will not perform in AB over a certain limit. Obviously, you can't be 3 months pregnant, or you can't be like in the late trimester and have an obviously. And even in some states that is legalized, maybe there is some who can only do it in this time. Maybe there's some who has it maybe in this amount of time. Sure, but like that's only in the states that is legal. If they shouldn't have to, yeah, that's the thing. Just go to a different state where if you have, if you're 1 week late, hey, go to the other state. Like, bro, you shouldn't have to do that.
Where it's legal when to have that abortion. So what are you speaking about? Women have full autonomy over which children are going to be born in the United States and which children aren't. This is why with feminism and sexual liberation, women are choosing to abort. They aborted 28% of Gen Z. 28% of Gen Z is not here because of women that have your ideology.
Who cares?
But where do you think they would be?
Literally,
How
who
many would be in the
cares?
system? How many would have maybe died of childbirth? How many would be molested or raped on their way up in the system? Like, again, the quality of life matters.
Because he
That's
doesn't,
not
he
an
doesn't
argument.
care about those lost 20. Are you mourning those lost 20%? Really? You don't even know, like, you don't know anything about them. It doesn't matter. Like, oh, when we could have more population, damn, if they would have 8, like, okay, who cares? Like, oh my God.
You're just
Fixated over
begging the
nothing.
question. That's not an argument. Just throwing stuff on the wall and nothing is sticking.
On the wall too.
True.
No, I'm
I mean,
not.
I can
I'm giving facts.
about you. I consider.
Sure.
He's not giving
Okay.
any
Say
facts,
something about
bro.
it.
Georgia is a forced birth state. Okay, they're a woman who was brain dead at 9 weeks
No,
pregnant. They kept her on a
no.
machine to keep her brain
Yeah,
alive
no,
until they could cut it out
no,
of her.
you're wrong,
And now
no.
her family has to take care of a disabled child and another child that she had already had, and they're losing their home because they can't afford it. And it was forced on them, and they still have to pay for the hospital bill. This is all forced on them, and I've never heard of
It's not true. I didn't
That's not
see
even
it.
forced
It's
on
not
them. I think
true.
that's in one, and under my worldview, that would be a good
like,
thing.
you got rid of. Let me say this. Let me ask you this.
Hey,
Let me
wait,
ask
no,
you
no,
ask
he
the question,
admitted it.
sure.
That would be a good thing though, because pro-life. Okay, that baby can be born in a nice world, nice economy. There we go. I'm gonna support that baby. Yes, that's what we need. I'm so glad it was born in this economic situation where they couldn't even really have the baby because they were forced to have the baby, lost their house, have no job, gonna file for bankruptcy. Where the child gonna go? Who knows? But congratulations, they're born. They're born. So yeah. Yes, he did just say that. He did. Congratulations, the baby was born.
and another child that she had already had, and they're losing their home because they can't afford it. And it was forced on them, and they still have to pay for the hospital bill. This is all forced on them, and I've never heard forced.
I think no. That's not even forced on them. I think that's in one, and under my worldview, that would be a good thing.
Like, you got rid of. Let me say this. Let me ask you this. Let me ask you.
Sure,
this.
ask a question. Sure.
If federally banned with the if we federally banned abortions, right, and
Yep.
so no abortions ever occurred, what would America look like? Exactly. Like, where would our economy be? How many kids would be in the system? They've already cut.
Oh,
like
we
I
have.
mentioned before,
Oh, it'd be
SNAP
so
benefits,
good.
You want me to answer the question?
research. We just don't have the infrastructure built.
Just
to
let her
take on
finish it.
All the things that
You want me to answer the question?
Just let her finish it.
Yeah,
you
go
want-
ahead.
Okay,
Yes.
cool. So, well, one, we wouldn't have to rely on immigration, right? So you say that, well, we just don't have.
If those 28% of Gen Z were here right now, we wouldn't have to rely on immigration. He's so right. I couldn't have said it better myself. Oh, thank you. Okay, debate over. He won. Yep. We wouldn't have Oh, he's so dumb. He's actually dumb. We wouldn't have immigration if abortion was illegal, we'd have more kids, and we would have to rely on immigration. I'm just press play, bro. I'm gonna just press play, bro. Oh my god.
The room or the infrastructure to take on more babies and more people. If that's the case, why are we allowing all of these immigrants in? This refutes your point to be wrong. If I'm
I can't, bro. I can't, bro. Oh my
if I'm
God.
answering your question, why are you cutting me off?
You've done that. I'm just asking.
If I'm answering your question, why are you cutting me off?
You said your answer. Let's have a
go for it.
You
conversation.
still want an answer to your
Why is
question?
he being so soft?
Okay, so I'm answering the question once again. If it's the case that abortion was banned, banned, and women couldn't have any abortions, and one, that is it, my worldview. I think that due to if the mother's one reason, I believe if the mother's life is in jeopardy, I think that women then should have the choice.
Nope.
No.
You shouldn't. That's an exception. You shouldn't grant that. No matter if the mom's gonna die, they should have the child. Mom died, child born, pro-life. No, don't have that exception. Don't let him actually have that. Don't let him hold that position.
Or to save the baby. That's my
no.
only exception.
No.
When it comes down to any other exceptions,
No. There shouldn't
I
be
think
any
that
exceptions.
if the baby can be born,
No.
the baby should be born. So if it's the case that abortion is banned federally at the federal level, it's banned. And people, when they get pregnant, they're having babies, women can't abort their children. I think that we wouldn't need all of this mass immigration in.
True.
I don't think that we'll need that. I
Yes,
think that we'll
he's
be,
so
once again, at our population level, not below our population level. I think that we would be thriving. I think that when it comes to culture and our ideas and stuff, ideals and
my
stuff, I think that it would be
God.
more, let's see, we would honor our flag and honor our country much more in America than we do now because we allow all of these immigrations in.
Yeah.
And they have many different cultures and they don't really even care about American culture.
True,
you got these immigrants burning American flags and stuff like that. So yeah, there will be many upsides and many benefits. Less immigration and more people honoring America and honoring our culture. That's what I'm saying. So anyways, let me ask you a question.
Hook, line, and sinker. We will have America back. We would have the culture of America. We'd have jobs. They wouldn't be burning flags. Yes. There you go.
What question?
I mean, are you pro-mass deportation? I'm just curious. Shit.
I mean, it has nothing to do with feminism at all in the debate, so I don't know why.
I mean, you brought up immigration.
But I mean, we've already been going for 2 hours and 15 minutes, and we got a lot of chats in here, so I wanted to go ahead and get to the chats. Hey, can you see the super chats in there, Tyga? If you want to read the chats.
Yeah.
And also, what we're going to do here is everyone that's in the chat right now, I'm going to go ahead and read the super chats, but we are going to allow people up to join the stream to ask questions.
Ceci, you should have told me that you were on here, and I probably could have joined. God, why didn't you tell me?
Myself,
when was the stream? 4 days ago? You should have told me. She should have told me, so I could have been like,
feminism good for society, and also to Ceci, you can go ahead and ask her questions as well. So if you want to join the stream, you have to send in a minimum of $10 to join the stream.
I was spending 10 to join. I would spend 10.
You can join the stream. And what you do is when you send in your $10, and you have to say that you want to join the stream. So it's just don't ask a question when you send in a super chat. Send in the $10 and say this is for me to join the stream, and give me and make sure your YouTube name matches the name that you put in when you click the link. Again, because that's the only way that I can verify that you sent in the $10.
But actually, for real, what is this like interface? I don't know what I know it's not Discord. It's not Skype. I don't know what that is. I kind of want to use that. I like how that looks. I might use that instead of Discord for my stuff. But I don't know what it is. I'll look at that. I'm
going to go ahead and put the link in the YouTube comments. Make sure when you click that link, make sure your YouTube name.
Or actually, no, wait. Is it this is about this is a YouTube integration? Do they have that for YouTube streaming? Or I don't know.
Name when you come in to join the stream, because I need to verify that it's you that sent in the $10. Okay, I guess we can get to once right before we get to bringing people up and getting to comments. Tyga, you want to do closing statements real quick? You want to go ahead and
yeah, let me get the timer going.
Okay.
Closing statements, bro.
Yeah, we'll do closing statements, and then we'll go ahead and get into reading the comments and bringing people on up that send in $10.
All right, so since Ceci opened, I think that she should get the last word. So, Cooley, why don't you go ahead and go with your closing statement? All
right, so I didn't write anything down for my closing statement, but this was a complete obliteration. She didn't refute any of my arguments. She actually made concessions to, if not all my arguments, almost all.
Is he friends with Andrew Wilson? Because this is exactly what he does. Did he watch his debate tactics? Maybe so, because I think he even had like a video on like how to debate people, or I don't know, or a course. This is exactly how Andrew Wilson debates when he debated Naomi. He's a little less good at it, but yeah.
All of my arguments when it came down to forced doctrine, when it came down to even the
that guy who was debating the other girl, Naomi or Naoma or Naomi. Let me see. Oh, Naima. My bad, Naima. I keep mispronouncing her name. But yeah. I thought the same thing. Yeah, like bro, it's the prescription, it's he even mentioned forced doctrine, like Andrew Wilson did. He thinks he's getting wins on a debate if you concede a point, which she didn't. The only thing she conceded was I forgot. It was in the beginning.
Two sides of feminism, like abortion and how it's actually not good for society. Even when it came down to the nuclear family, how she wanted to say that, with the nuclear family moving towards, two income household families are better now. But when I refuted her claim and I said, well, we wouldn't need 2 income household families if we didn't have feminism and women getting into the workforce in mass numbers like they did. So she really didn't make any argument at all, actually, for feminism. I think that you did represent this worldview the best way possible, because I do believe exactly what you said. Women under your worldview have no obligations. Women under your worldview, they have no purpose in society at all. And I think most feminists think the way you think, and we see the detrimental sides, the detrimental effects in society when it comes to women that think like you do. So, that will conclude my opening. Thank you for coming out, Ceci. And it's a debate, so no hard feelings.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. No, I appreciate you having me on.
I don't know. I feel
just resetting the timer. Go ahead when you're ready, sis.
Okay. Yeah, I just think that feminism is the inevitable, the necessary inevitable counterbalance to a patriarchal capitalist society. But I didn't concede anything except the word birthed because that was for your sensibilities.
Yeah, it was that thing. It was like, yeah. Or that's what it was. Is that she said the patriarchal system birth feminism, which, yeah, she was like, it was the wording. It was like patriarchy created feminism or whatever she used. That's what it was. Yeah.
Birthed, maybe created. The economy also at that time I didn't mention, but it does worth noting that we were taxing the rich at 90% in the 50s. So the economy was obviously better because we were actually taxing the rich, so that had a big influence on that. And as far as like my worldview and stuff, I just think that people should have access to the same rights and opportunity, and what you do with that is on you. And that way, it would actually be a merit-based system, those who sink or swim type situation. And then you try to help the most in the country. You want to help the most that have the most that have the least, or whatever. What's that term that they say? You want to help the most that have the least, right? But anyway, I think just overall, I want people to have the same rights and access to opportunity so that you can do what you want with that. And if you sink, you sink. If you swim, you swim. I don't, the man versus woman, on some things, like, obviously we're different, but I don't think it's just bronze or brains all the time. I don't think that men are just this force that are just going to force our rights onto us. Like, I feel like we all have human traits. Just some are nurtured and some aren't. And that depends on your upbringing, your experiences. I mean, women like me are not born, we're made, like through experience, through influence, like you said, and thought. And I agree with all that. And the patriarchy is a huge influence over everything.
Chile got 25.
So if anything influenced feminism, it was the patriarchy. Thanks for having me on, though, Julie. No disrespect. I know I interrupted you a few times. Sorry about that, but thanks for having me on.
No, it's okay, bro. You should have. Where is the boss? I don't know where it is.
Okay, so okay, all right. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and read the super chats, and then we'll start bringing people up. Again, if you do want to come up and join the stream, make sure you send in a $10 super chat and include your name.
15 minutes, okay.
What's going on, Wicked? How are you, man?
What's up, man? How we doing, Uncle Tiger? What's going on?
Doing good, man. What's up?
I'm chilling, man. So I just had a couple questions for you. We'll start off with the question that I just asked. You said that
real quick, Wicked, just before you go, since she doesn't have a lot of time, we'll keep it to 5 minutes minimum for people.
Yeah, it's just a couple quick questions. Just to kind of let you know. So back to how I really want to know how men created feminism. If it's women that really created it. You said men just kind of backed it up. They didn't create feminism.
Okay, I'm trying to think of like
no. She's just her initial point was that the patriarchy created feminism, not men. She has to remember that was her original claim, not that men created feminism. That's not what she was talking about.
Like if you back an animal into, let me say, like you take a gentle animal, you back it into a corner, and you like scare it, and all of a sudden it bites you. Did you create that bite? Like maybe, right? I mean,
no, you didn't create the bite. You just.
But maybe it was always there. I'm saying women maybe didn't want to be at home only doing these things, and then we were allowed to by you, right? They sent us into the factories,
well,
and then we didn't want to.
You kind of had to in order for us as a country. Hold on. You guys, it wasn't that you were allowed to. You guys had to as a duty to the country in order for the country to survive.
Right. We had an obligation.
Right. So it wasn't like you were given a choice to do it. You were obligated by the government in order for the countries to survive.
And then they like doing that right there. And then they like doing it.
But still, he said originally, influence creates thought, which creates behavior, and that influence from the patriarchy.
Yeah, where's the boss? I want to.
You're missing the argument real quick because she's like she's strawman in the influence thing. The influence is you can only be influenced by the thing that you are susceptible to. So really, you choose the stuff that you are influenced by.
Yeah, but I mean, can't you have
not even that. A majority of the women didn't want to.
But you can have something negatively influence you or positively influence you. Like if something's negative, it can influence you to do something or to change something.
Yes, but that's not what I'm arguing. But what I'm arguing is that it was an obligation that you guys had to do, and most women, a big majority of the women, didn't want feminism.
But then, you guys say that all the time.
Again, but they don't know. I looked it up. Who were the actual women who didn't want it? It was just regular people. And if it was, they probably were too ignorant to know what this was and what voting meant for them. You know who didn't want feminism and people to vote was the rich people and the rich racist people, which they were kind of intertwined because they didn't. If they were gonna have the women to vote, then black women could vote. And they didn't want that, so they just wanted to keep it for the rich structure. Just keep that in place. They don't want anything to disrupt. They don't want the poor people to not have the same rights as them. So they wanted to keep it like that. Okay, but they don't know that.
It was women trying to influence other women. It was women trying to influence other. But you're talking about influence. It was women trying to influence other women, and then men just allowed it. There's a big difference. Men didn't influence women towards it. But obviously, you're not going to understand that, so we'll move on to something else.
We influenced you as well. Then we influenced men too.
No, we allowed it because they're simps.
No, so we influenced.
That's a whole other story.
What? Get out of here, bro. Come on.
No, you just allowed me. That's the interesting part.
No, that's just. that's just weak men allowing women to do what they want because they have no boundaries as a man.
You need to
But that's
check
a whole
your
other topic.
basement. I feel like you should
He's
check
so
your
right.
basement.
Do I look like I live in a fucking basement?
No, I meant because you might have a
Whatever.
woman in your basement. You stupid bitch. Get the fuck out of here.
A
You call me
woman in my
stupid bitch, I'll
basement.
call you a
But
bitch back.
let's
You set the tone.
Damn,
I'll
sis,
follow it.
irrelevant.
Fair.
Again,
Let's just
don't
keep the
care.
insults down
So
to a
back
minimum.
to-
One more question, Wicked.
One more question is, you talk about abortion. Did you know that 100% of newborn babies get adopted, so they don't go into the system that
Did
you
you
were
know the
talking
average
about?
age of a kid in the system is 9? They're not all babies anymore, are they? Why is there an average age of 9?
We were talking
Why
about.
is there an average age of 9 in the
Okay,
foster care
listen.
system then? If
Oh
they're
my
all
God!
100%
Shut your
adopted?
mouth and listen to me for 1 second. You can't even listen to what I'm saying to you. You have to shut your mouth in order to listen. Okay? Babies. You were talking about abortion. Abortion has to do with babies. Kids don't get aborted at 9 years old. What are you talking about?
What did you just say? That 100% of kids that are what?
Of newborn
That are
babies.
born
Newborn babies
are adopted.
Yes, newborn babies. Correct. So what does that have to do with
So then
9-year-olds?
if that's the case, that 100% of newborns are adopted, how the hell are there 9-year-olds in the system then? That's my point. They're not all getting adopted.
Well, there's people who are there's people that are crappy parents that put kids into child, or there's kids that get taken away from parents because they're crappy. That's how they get to that age.
All
You
of
have
them are
no
like
idea
that.
what you're speaking
All
about.
of them are like that. No.
Did I say
You guys
all?
said
I said about
100%.
newborn
You said
babies.
100%
No, he said
of
newborn
are
babies.
adopted, and not all of them are.
Listen. Oh my God. Listen. Open your ears and shut your mouth. It's
You know
newborn
what?
babies. Not
Hold on. Let me go back.
most women. A big majority of the women didn't want feminism.
But then,
So
you guys say that all the time, but there was a
It was women trying to influence other women.
Enough of us wanted
It was women trying to influence other. But you're talking about influence. It was women trying to influence other women, and then men just allowed it. There's a big difference. Men didn't influence women towards it. But obviously, you're not going to understand that, so we'll move on to something
and then
else.
we influenced you as well. Then we influenced men too.
No, we allowed it because they're simps.
No, so we influenced
But that's
you.
a whole
We
other story.
influenced you. It's fine. We influenced you, right? Influence is an
No,
interesting
you just
thing. It can
allowed
come
weak.
from anywhere. That's the interesting part.
No, that's just weak men allowing women to do what they want because they
I
have
know, I
no
ran
boundaries
back,
as a
but I
man.
wanna
You need to
see.
That's a
check
whole
your
other topic. Let's
basement.
keep
I
moving
feel like
forward.
you should check your basement.
Do I look like I live in a fucking basement?
No, I
Is
meant
it-
because you might
check.
have a woman in your basement. You stupid
let's-
bitch. Get the fuck out of here.
A
You call me
woman in my
stupid bitch, I'll
basement.
call you a
But
bitch back.
let's.
You set the
I
tone. I'll
don't care.
follow it.
Irrelevant.
Fair.
Again,
Let's just
don't
keep the
care.
insults down
So
to a
back
minimum.
to-
One more question, Wicked.
One more question is, you talk about abortion. Did you know that 100% of newborn babies get adopted, so they don't go into the system?
100% of newborn babies go into.
One more question is, you talk about abortion. Did you know that 100% of newborn babies get adopted, so they don't go into this?
What does it mean by that claim? 100% of newborn babies get adopted. Like who? I don't know what he means by that. What does he mean by 100% of newborns get adopted? Where are you getting this from? 62% of babies in domestic infant adoptions were placed with their adoptive families within a month of birth. Of non-step parent adoptions, about 59% are from the child welfare or foster system. Well, so it's not even 100%. That's just not true. Like that just completely debunks this whole argument. It's not even 100%. Yeah, whatever. It's not even. It's just completely. So he's gonna get mad at her for saying that, or for disagreeing.
Let's.
You set the
I
tone. I'll
don't care.
follow it.
Irrelevant.
Fair.
Again,
Let's just
don't
keep the
care.
insults down
So
to a
back
minimum.
to-
One more question, Wicked. Yeah.
One more question is, you talk about abortion. Did you know that 100% of newborn babies get adopted, so they don't go into the system that
Did
you
you
were
know the
talking
average
about?
age of a kid in the system is 9? They're not all babies anymore, are they? Why is there an average age of 9?
We were talking
Why
about.
is there an average age of 9 in the
Okay,
foster
listen.
care system then? If
Oh my
they're all
God!
100%
Shut
adopted.
your mouth and listen to me for 1 second. You can't even listen to what I'm saying to you. You have to shut your mouth in order to listen. Okay?
that's-
Babies. You were talking about abortion. Abortion has to do with babies. Kids don't get aborted at 9 years old. What are you
You
talking
just
about?
said, what did you just say? That 100% of kids that are what?
Of newborn
That are
babies.
born.
Newborn babies get.
Are adopted.
Yes, newborn babies. Correct. So what does that have to do with
So then if
9-year-olds?
that's the case, that 100% of newborns are adopted, how the hell are there 9-year-olds in the system then? That's my point. They're not all getting adopted.
Well, there's people who are there's people that are crappy parents that put kids into child, or there's kids that get taken away from parents because they're crappy. That's how they get to that age.
all of
I have
them are
no
like
idea
that.
what you're speaking
All
about.
of them are like that. No.
Did I say
You guys
all?
said
I said about
100%.
newborn
You said
babies.
100%
No, he said
of newborns
newborn
are
babies.
adopted, and not all of them are.
Listen. Oh my God.
But
listen.
he's still. I mean, he's still wrong that 100% gets adopted. That's just not true. It's just not.
Open your ears and shut
It's
your
just
mouth.
not
It's
true.
You know
newborn
what?
babies, not
Hey, Wicked,
everybody.
let's just be
It's
respectful
not
to you.
everybody.
Let's
No, no,
I'm
no.
trying. Listen, I'm trying to, but she's strawmanning what I'm saying and not
Yeah,
even
no,
listening to me.
let's-
She's just responding and not even.
Yeah,
Like, this is
yeah,
ridiculous. I keep saying newborn babies, and she's like, it's all of them. No, newborn babies specifically.
I get what
We
you're
need
saying.
fact
Do you
checks,
get that? 'Cause
bro.
you keep saying 9-year-olds. You say I get it,
And yeah, we do. Yeah.
but you keep saying
We need
9-year-olds.
someone who just knows the subject matter. Like, even if I was a moderator, I would do better than him. Because for him to just say that, what was one of the wildest claims? Abortion is not illegal it's legal in all 50 states. That's just something that can be easily be like, oh, moderate. Oh, well, actually, I'm looking up. There's a bunch of articles. Even ChatGPT said, hey, it's banned in 12 states. Like that's at least there needs to be a better moderator because they can just go on with just lies and just tangents and yeah.
Which is it? Do you get it, or is it 9 year olds?
All right, we give her a chance to respond, and then
you're telling me that 100% of newborns are adopted, right? But that's not true. Not 100.
Who's the moderator? This guy right here, Uncle Tiger. He hasn't done nothing. Okay, he stepped in like what twice to let him speak more. Like
adopted.
That is true. Then prove me wrong.
Prove yourself right. You're just throwing something out there that I'm just supposed to believe.
What do you mean? I'm not.
Prove it. Prove it that 100% kids get adopted and infants. It's just like he can't even prove it.
And then prove me wrong.
Prove yourself right. You're just throwing something out there that I'm just supposed to believe.
What do you mean? I'm not. Oh my God! You can't listen. You can't be this dumb. You really can't be this dumb to understand something.
Let's keep the insults to a minimum.
I'm not going to do
with the guest.
Quit on you guys. Like I know you really want.
I'm not trying to rage you. You just can't understand a simple concept, and you're like, oh, that's not true.
It's not true.
Just because you think it's not true doesn't mean that you're right.
All right, Wicked. Any other questions? I don't think she got the argument.
Obviously, she's not going to understand. So there's no point. She's just not going to. At least you admit it. At least you admit it. That's a good thing.
Fair
step
enough.
one. Hey, step one.
Appreciate the support, man. And go ahead and bring up the next person. Yep.
Right, I'll get Nixon on his woman for the day. I know you got to feel tough about yourself. So you come out here to beat on a chick, of course.
True. Right, get him, sissy.
All right, so we got let's see, anyone else? Okay, we got Antenna Boy sends in $10. He is backstage. Let's bring up Antenna. Welcome to No Fugazi Podcast, Antenna, and go ahead and ask your question.
Yeah, so my question is more so to gain your thoughts on these things specifically towards Cooley. So there's two things I wanted to address here that I typed into my notes, right? So the first thing is just like, I'm gonna be real, like I think like a lie implies like intent. So I don't think like you lied per se, or rather you're just misinformed, although it could just be a lie. But when you said, like when she just asked you flat out, you have to sign up for selective service in order for men to vote, that's just straight up not true.
No, the thing is okay, hold on, because I looked this up. How are you? Oh, then I was incorrect. Am I just thinking of something else then? Wait, no, registering for selective service not a requirement for voting. Registering to vote and registering selective service, two separate processes. I think it's sometimes they lump it in. I think that's what it is. They lump in when you're registering to vote that you register for SS. It's not that you have to, in order to vote, you have to go through SS. No, it's all the same thing. Because again, if you go into college, you take out a student loan, you get to sign up for SS. But it's not that, or to get a loan, you have to sign up for SS. But to vote, you don't have to be on SS. But you may unknowingly sign up for SS, because I don't know I signed up for SS. I didn't even know what it was until I was already on it. So I was like, damn, okay, you got me. Like, okay, so it does not affect your right to vote if you're not signed up for SS. That's okay. So he's right. Thank you, Antenna Boy. Someone who's actually smart and fact check. I was like, wait, because I lumped it in together too. So that was my mistake. I should have looked whenever I was on it. But I was like, whatever. But if you are a citizen, you must register from ages 18 through 25. But to vote, you do not have to be on SS. But you are required to sign up, but not just to vote. There we go. Thank you. He should have moderated. Where was he? Because I'm going to look that up. Thank you, Antenna Boy.
In order for men to vote, that's just straight up not true.
When she said that you have to sign up for selective service, I think I said that.
Yeah, she asked you and then you said yes.
Yeah.
True.
Okay, so if you want to vote, you do need to sign up for selective service, and you're saying that it's not true in order to vote to sign up.
Okay, I'm gonna say you didn't even know about the selective service. You didn't even know about it.
Okay, so there's most likely probably some stipulations in it, but what's your point?
It's never been the case. So again, historically, selective service started in I believe 1840s or whatever. True. But it's literally never been tied to the right to vote. In fact, when you look at this right here.
Because he's schooling them. Let's go. Oh my God, he's so good.
The selective service, the penalties for not signing up for selective service, you are subject to imprisonment, paying a fine. You're not eligible for certain government benefits.
For government benefits or governmental jobs. There you go.
Yeah, there's consequences.
But nowhere does it say you lose the right to vote. That's just straight up not true. It's literally made up.
Yeah, it's consequences, meaning that there's penalties if you do not sign up for selective service.
Yes. Or if you dodge draft. If you dodge draft for selective wait. I think that's the same thing, right? What happens if you don't sign up for SS? Okay, yeah, same thing. So same thing if you dodge the draft or don't sign up for SS. Okay, gotcha. I was like, well, maybe it's different, but yeah, same thing.
And one of the penalties is, I do believe, when it comes down to voting, it's going to be, something's going to happen. You're going to experience some type of consequences.
But the thing is, you have to be a citizen to vote, and in order to, you have to be a citizen to sign up for SS. So it's like it's all lumped in. So like that's why I thought, okay, you probably have to be a SS to vote, but no, you don't technically. But to vote, you have to be a citizen, and to be a citizen, you're probably on SS. Like, as all male citizens must register to vote, and you have to be a citizen. And if you're a citizen and you're 18 to 25, you probably have to enroll in SS. Even if you're an immigrant, you have to, male immigrants have to register for SS. So immigrants, citizens, 18 to 25, up to the 26th birthday. And if you don't, you'll, of course, face fines, jail time, not able to hold some jobs. Yep.
If you do not sign up for selective service.
You have to. This is just straight up not true.
Yeah,
That's a lie.
get
It's not true.
Okay, so what,
18 and a citizen?
What part is not true?
You do not have to sign up for selective service in order to vote. That's not true.
Okay, got it. So you're saying that you don't have to sign up for selective service at all, and you can still vote in this country.
Yes.
You have to submit your info, though, right? Like, you have to submit your information.
Yeah, because I probably signed it unknowingly, but like it was in some document somewhere where it's like I probably just signed up for. Well, it was probably because for college, like the student FAFSA and stuff. Like, you have FAFSA, you sign up for SS, so that's probably one of the things why I got in it. I didn't know, bro. I just need a FAFSA, bro.
But not to
respectfully, CC, respectfully,
yeah.
I got this. I promise you, I got this.
True. Yes.
Get
him. Come
anyways,
on.
straight up, what you're just saying is flat out not true. Even people in your chat is saying I'm correct. You're literally just making this up. It's not true.
Okay, so to sign up for selective service, you're pretty much saying that it has nothing to do with voting or anything like that.
Yes.
That's fair. That's fair enough. In regards to my argument with her, I was stating that there's many consequences when it comes to a man not signing up for selective service.
It was an obligation, but it's not a
So I mean, in regards to if it's not the case that you need to actually sign up for selective service to vote, this doesn't negate any of my arguments when it came to CC. This could just be, okay, maybe this isn't the exact one of the reasons that you can't. Okay, real quick. Yeah, this may not be a reason that you can't actually vote, but this doesn't negate any of the facts that. What, you want to say something? Go ahead.
Yeah, let me take a stab.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, now
he
wants to speak when get out of here, bro.
It's true that it's not a requirement for men to sign up for military conscription in order to be able to vote, but it's also true that if they don't, it's a felony, and felons cannot vote.
I don't care about this.
Yeah, but he's
it's consequences. So it doesn't negate my reason. That's
What a oh my God, bro.
Totally fine. It doesn't negate the reason for the argument that I made in regards to
but you have to admit that you were wrong when you say, she asked you flat out, do you have to sign up for selective service to get the right to vote?
To get the right to vote. Totally fine. Totally fine. The argument, but the argument wasn't that. The argument was, I know, that's just a semantic argument. The argument was to, when I was saying that there's obligations. No, what are you talking about?
You listed that as an obligation, but it's clearly not an obligation.
No, obligations. There's obligations. Listen, CC, and also understand antenna.
Cowley. Come on, my name is Ceci.
I'm sorry, Ceci, my bad. Yeah, got you. When I'm making the argument to Ceci in regards to, men's obligations, things that men are obligated to, if they don't adhere to these things, there will be consequences on maybe an individual level, but then also negative effects on a societal level. So that argument it doesn't negate my argument when we're saying that, well, there will be negative consequences. So this is something that moves men towards signing up for selective service so they do not experience negative consequences.
Yes,
that's all that is.
I never denied this.
Okay, fair enough.
What I said from the beginning is that when she asked you, flat out, do you have to sign up for selective service in order to vote as a man?
Yeah, but I don't think
you were wrong.
Yeah, no, it doesn't negate the argument because when you're not putting in the context. No, listen, antenna. When we're having the debate, we can just rewind the tape back. When we're having these debates with Cece, I'm pushing forth certain arguments. Stop it. No, listen. I'm pushing forth certain arguments. It does not negate the fact that it's pressure on the person to vote.
It's not what he's even talking about. He's talking about that one point.
That was her point. Part of your argument was that you have to sign up for selective service in order to vote.
No.
And yes, it was. And he took notes because he's smart. He's a nerd. Come on now. Like, get him. He thinks he's so Like, bro.
No, you maybe then maybe you misunderstood the argument. No, then maybe you misunderstood the argument. No, then maybe you misunderstood the argument. No, stop it. You misunderstood the argument.
I know.
You have to explain how he's right. Okay, well, let's go ahead and do it here. We can go ahead and run it back right here. So, Antenna, I'll go ahead and make the argument.
Bro.
So
I don't care about any of this.
No, I'll go ahead and make the argument. No, stop. Listen.
Why are you here?
So if you don't care, then why are you here? Listen. If you don't care, then why...
Bro, they're so bad. Bro, come on.
Are you here? Let's go ahead and make. You have to put context into the argument.
I told you to address your lie. That lie.
No.
You're wrong.
It's context around the argument, though.
I never said there wasn't.
Okay, then
There
if
is
it's not
content,
any
but you're still wrong on the facts. You're still wrong.
context around the argument, then how can you say that someone is wrong on the point?
Well, I mean, because you used it. Yeah, you were right. Yeah.
You still use that as one of the obligations because you
the
had to
argument was
vote.
not wrong. The argument itself wasn't wrong. That's what I'm saying again. It does not negate.
He's not moderating, just defending him.
Antenna, what did I just say? Antenna, what did I just say? Yeah, stop sparking. You're sparking right now. Does it not negate the argument? And then he runs. I didn't kick him off. He ran, chat. He ran. Yeah, I didn't kick him off. Because the thing is, he comes up, he asks a question. And I said, well, it doesn't negate the argument if it is the case or if it isn't the case, because the argument has context under it. And then he says, admit you were wrong. Well, I wasn't wrong when it comes to the argument. And actually, when you add the context in there, no, not even at all. When you add the context in there and you say that, well, if it's the case that it's going to be social pressures that's put on men and they're going to get consequences if they do not sign up for selective service, then obviously this would be something that would move people towards signing up for selective service so they don't experience those consequences, which is why men have obligations to sign up for selective service, because their obligation, if they do not, it's consequences. What is women's obligation? That's the entire argument. It doesn't matter if I say, well, if you don't sign up for selective service, you can't vote.
It does matter.
That doesn't even matter.
It does.
It does matter. Kind of fucked. Anyway, I have to.
Yeah. I think we got. You have room for one more person?
Yeah, we could do. Yeah, I could do one.
Okay. We got someone else backstage. Just make sure you turn on your camera, and I'll go ahead and bring you on up. But let me see if you sent in. I don't see any money that's been sent in. So whoever is backstage, you have to send in $10 if you want to come on up. Yep. So you got to send in that $10 super chat if you want to go ahead and come on up. And turn on your camera. I still don't see your camera turned on. Okay. While we're waiting, we just got a few, 4 more super chats. You want me to get through these super chats real quick, Ceci? That's fine? Yeah. It could be some questions to you. Okay, cool. All right. So we got, let's see here. We got word unboxes and $5. She better have kids looking that tired on camera and being that sassy all at once. GB is just giving me a headache. It screams 21st century feminism. Any reply to that?
Get out of here, bro.
I mean, they're hiding behind the screen. They didn't want to show their face.
Fair enough. Word unbox. You are a debater, word unbox. Come on up. And you can ask her a question. We got Jaquan Rice is in $10. Ceci made a terrible straw man. Of course, men made the laws, but Cooley was talking about influencing a movement. That's what women did with feminism. Patriarchy enforced feminism, but didn't create it. This is true.
Negative influence can create things, is what I'm saying.
They're going to go into this. Well, why would he read that? Because it was a super chat. They spent money. But again, we're going to go back to this. We spent 35 minutes with 40 minutes on that. Basically, sure, the idea of feminism was not, a man didn't do it. Yeah, there we go. Okay, but the reason why feminism had to be a thing is because patriarchy. So that in itself means patriarchy created feminism. It's not that hard of a concept. It's not, but they don't want to think outside of the box, bro. It's literally only black and white for them.
So that
let's not interrupt super chat, shall we?
Sorry.
Let's not interrupt super chat.
Let's not interrupt the super chat. Is there? These people are. Oh my god, get me out of here. Oh, hold on, don't even. Oh my god, bro. What a useless moderator.
Fair. So
bro.
Even when you're speaking about influence, once again, if influence creates thinking and thinking creates behavior, but you understand, and I understand too, we agreed that humans are, men have agency and women have agency. Since we all have agency, this is free choice, right? We have things that we are responsible for. We must have to take a degree of authority and a degree of accountability. Choice, right? With that being said, if the person is influenced by it, that just means that they were susceptible to be influenced by it, because there's many situations where it's influence and there's multiple people and maybe 10 people are influenced by it, but 2 people aren't. So influence is not actual force. Influence is just influence. Human beings choose to be influenced based off of circumstances, based off of a void, based off of weakness. They are emotional. Yeah. Anything that they're, any voids that they have with their mental capacity, they can be influenced to something. Or it may not even be a void. They can see something good in it, meaning that it's still a choice. They can see the good in it. Well, oh, this is a good influence. I'll go ahead and do it. Oh, it's a bad influence. Well, I can still use this bad. So it's all down to choice. Influence is not force at all. Okay, so we got Bob. Oh, no, we got... Okay, no, we do got Bob. Season $10. If women are so successful in college, why can't women understand two-family household is more successful than a woman's happiness being single? For a woman's happiness being single. Okay.
Huh?
Yeah. No, we got okay, no, we do got Bob. Season $10. If women are so successful in college, why can't women understand two-family household is more successful than a woman's happiness being single? For a woman's happiness being single. Okay, yeah, that's for.
I'm not even gonna engage with that. I just y'all got it. I'm not gonna engage with that. I'm not. Y'all got
so
it.
if women are so successful in college, why can't they understand that?
I'm like, what? I'm not engaging with that. I'm just not. I'm over it, bro.
A family and a household is more successful to a woman's happiness than being single.
Well, I mean, that depends on what makes that person happy.
It just depends,
and that doesn't mean that women don't want to have families. They want to do that too. There's plenty of women who still want to have kids and be moms. And there's plenty of women who want to do both. And then there's some women who just aren't into it. I still don't understand why we blanket stuff where all women should be doing the same exact thing. Yeah. We're not the exact person. We also have different skill levels, even amongst ourselves, just like you men do.
Okay. Next chat we got 3 more actually. Next chat we got Tim M. Shout out to Tim M. He sends in $20. He says, legal penalties. Failure to register is a felony under the Military Selective Service Act. You could face a fine up to $250,000.
Oh, congratulations! Congratulations.
Prison sentences up to 5 years can be imposed. So this even goes back to the thing that when Antenna came in, he doesn't understand
they need
that.
To collect your information in case they do a draft. I was just reading up on it, and it's so that you all do have to fill it out, but you're not registering to be in the Army. They just collect it in case they do come for you in a draft later.
Yeah, but if you do not, there is penalties, and this is what Antenna didn't understand. Like, if there's any, so I can go ahead and make.
He was just saying you were wrong on the fact that you do not need to sign up for SS in order to vote. That was literally this.
The claim and make the statement that if you want to vote, then you got to sign up for a selective service, because if you don't, all of these penalties. Get what I'm saying? So yeah. So that's even when you were trying to back up Antenna.
True.
No, I was just saying that it doesn't negate the argument that I was making at all. We got Even Lord sends him $5. Evan, it is Even Lord. He says, big ups for Mr. Cooley and Uncle Tyga. No relation. He says, I love the debate comment. Thank you, Miss Ceci, for being willing to debate your ideas. Okay. That's for you. That's out to you.
That was really nice. Thank you.
Shouts out to you, right? And then we have BB says in $10, W Cooley, can't join, but I'll join another time. All right. Well, that wraps up the comments and the super chat. So thank you, Ceci, for coming on. Any last comments you want to make? Anything you want to shout out?
Thank you.
Anything I want to shout out? Check out my channel, the Putting You On podcast. I'm on everything at Very Ceci, Very CECI. Thanks for mediating, Uncle Tyga. Thanks, Cooley, for having me. I appreciate it.
All right. You're welcome. Yeah. Have a good one. Thank you.
Bye.
All right.
Ceci, you're strong, okay? That was bad. That was a bad debate. Not that she did bad, but it felt a little disingenuous, bad faith, not knowing just basic facts. Basically they didn't really see eye to eye. Obviously, they think one of them thinks feminism is good, one of them thinks it's bad. They just disagree just fundamentally. So I mean, there was gonna be a hard time getting through to each other just on a basic term of like even what is good, like or should people even have the right to? I'm glad they didn't bring up bodily autonomy, because what would you argue that they don't have bodily autonomy if they don't have the right to get an AB if they want to? In any circumstance. So yeah, and he kept dodging the race question, obviously, because he would get triggered because he's so sensitive that he didn't want to compare any other oppression to gender oppression, because I don't know, apples to oranges. But yeah,